Hello and welcome. We are here for another VOD review. I just baited my chat. Take that, chat. We're looking at the Contenders Korean finals that happened about a week ago. This was between O2 Blast and Talon. These two teams have been pretty dominant throughout Korean Contenders. Once again, I'm just gonna let you guys know I don't watch a ton of Contenders, especially not the Korean side. I watch bits and pieces, but I haven't watched many of these teams all play, so I cannot speak to that. If you guys have specific questions or you want specific information about all these players, I think Avril's probably your guy. He's been like screaming from the rooftops about every single player that should be there. I'm not going to be able to do that. We're just going to look at this awesome game. These players are the ones that are rumored to be heading into the Overwatch League. We already heard rumors of some of the players going to certain teams. So I think Proper is the first one you need to talk about. Avril has claimed that he is going to be the leading front runner of Rook of the Year. I think a lot of people have echoed that sentiment who have watched him play a lot. Finn has been rumored to come to the Overwatch League. There's a bunch of them. Kilo is apparently the other hit scan for O2 Blast. Is apparently rumored to go to the team. There's a bunch of players that are on. Korong on the other side on Talon. Everyone talks about he's going to be like the main support. Obviously, main support is a pretty sparse role in the Overwatch League, and everyone needs main supports right now, especially for Korean players, and we haven't really seen a lot of players coming in. So I think a lot of these main supports will be getting promoted to go up. Korong is one of those. So we're going to check this match out. As I said, I know this is a banger. I only watched the last map of this series on Dorado. So I know, it's very back and forth. We're just going to go. It's a 4-hour VOD, so we need to just move this along. Obviously, the other players that we have that you potentially might know, Ardo played for like a bunch of different teams. Shanghai Dragons, obviously, in the first season. But we'll see how this goes. I'm curious to see what meta they play, because when we watched the North American Contenders review about a week ago, North America actually played a little bit of everything. They played some of the Wrecking Ball comp that we see from Talon right here. They played the Winston Anna Brig on certain maps. They played Brawl on certain maps. So it'll be interesting to see what we see. The Hanzo Echo Orisa Bat Mercy is an interesting one. It seems like you're putting a lot of eggs in the Echo basket, right? And you're just damage boosting the Echo. Can we lower volume on VOD? The VOD's really loud? I feel like it's quite low already. But I can turn it down a little bit more for you guys. It's fine. I love the Korean commentators. They get so hype. So O2 Blast gets the point at the beginning. It's got to be really hard. I think this is an interesting comp because I actually like the damage boosted Echo. Because I feel like it would deal very well with the Brig Zen, right? Like, they don't really, like, the Sombra or the Tracer would have to help the peel a little bit because the Diva can't do it on her own. So it means that it should halt the dive a little bit. But once they start getting defensive ultimates, like once they get the rally, the Transcendent's going to be really hard. Junbin's doing the classic Orisa strat of just put your shield between a wall and you, and then just hide in the alcove. You can't hear almost anything? Alright, let me turn it up a bit. The evil toaster strat. Yeah, it feels like Talon is really struggling to get any space with the echo, damage boosted Echo. They just can't get through it. Bit better, Ty? Alright, we're good. Dude, like, Korong only has fucking 70% to a rally, and they're 70% into the round. Like, Proper hasn't even really been challenged at this point. It'll be interesting who he copies. Probably Diva, right? Oh, it's Transcendence already? And this is actually a good question. Who does Ardo EMP? Like, who do you want to EMP in this group? There's no one really standing together. Maybe just the Echo Mercy combo, if you can get a good one. So they actually copied the Sombra. EMP their EMP. I don't know, maybe the BAP, but then it just feels like you're solo EMPing the BAP, like you'd want to get more than just the BAP. Take that, Mines. Oh, nice. Okay, looks like they're getting some space here. Like, the rally's really nice against this comp from the O2 Blast, because it just gives them that extra sustain to walk forward. Oh, Merrick gets a kill on the D.Va's just not having a good time. I don't think Kane has got a single D.Va bomb, like, and this is how I feel every time I play D.Va against the fucking Echo Mercy. You literally feel useless, because, like, you don't have enough Matrix, and they can just, like, as soon as you get below 300 health, they just beam you and you die. Oh, they just cannot keep Finn alive. Alright, good aggression. And now that Talon has map control, I can actually see them turning this whole round around. Because, like, it's going to be hard for O2 Blast to get position, right? When O2 Blast comp, oh yeah, they actually switch. When O2 Blast had positional advantage, like, they can have their Hanzo on an off angle, their Echo Mercy on an off angle, their Orisa on the point. Like, they have all these random, like, the BAP on an off angle as well. But as soon as they have to, like, re-engage, I think it's impossible. So they're actually going to switch back to the Zen Ball. He's still way louder. Well, I don't want to get over drowned out by the Korean comms, right? Like, the Korean comms do get loud sometimes, so I don't want it to think. As much as it would be nice to hear game sounds a little bit more, it is what it is. Like, look at how far Finn has to play. Like, Finn is... I don't know how Finn lives as this Zen. Like, the Mercy's trying to pocket the Echo, but also protect the Zen. Like, and look at how slowly O2 Blast has to try and get this positioning, right? It's taking them a long time to, like, just even get into the fight. Proper needs to get this copy. Proper needs to get this copy. Oh, you got it. Oh, nice counter dive. That was a great counter dive, though. Oh, good EMP, though. Look how aggressive Ado has his translocator. Not a great D.Va bomb by FaZe. Yeah, like, there hasn't been a big fight this whole time. And now Vigilante has the Transcendence as well, but O2 Blast is coming up on a lot of ults. I actually kind of like how O2 Blast has done this. They haven't felt the need to force a fight. They're just charging their ults. Like, they're coming into this final fight with 4 ults, while Talon's been using ults to try and, like, hold off this fight. Oh, nice eat. Oh, why did Vigilante trance? I don't know why he transcended there. They need this. He's gonna need that in about 5 seconds. In response to the copy, but the copy's not gonna do anything for like 3 seconds. Heard pulse? No, but the pulse just got eaten. He just saw the pulse get eaten, right? Like, here comes the pulse. Pulse gets eaten ages ago. I think this is a mistake. Like, if he had had it now, like, obviously he gets mines as that is happening. If he had the trance for that, that would have been way more valuable, right? Like, if he had waited until the mines come active, blow through the mines, and then by then the copy, and then he can get away. I don't know how the Brig kills both the backlines, but you take those. See, like, now he's dead to Tracer. It might not have cost them anything, but it just seems like a weird trance. Enemy trance rush, but they're healthy, right? Like, there's no reason to force a trance rush, right? Like, they even have armor. Like, I don't want to get too caught up on it. I was just kind of curious. Like, everyone is healthy. Nothing is going wrong. Like, I think it's definitely a mistake. I think it's just definitely a mistake. I need to break into it. Who won this? We won. Go to map 7. That's all I'll say. You can find the results to this very easily if you want to just look at the results. But it goes to map 7. Oh. Okay. Oh my god, Vigilante's fucking a nut job. He just peeked an Ash with like 40 health. Oh, nice slam. Alright, so we get the mirror this time. It's interesting that... O2 Blast hasn't played Zen Brig yet. They're heavily prioritizing playing a Mercy with an Ashe, or like Mercy with an Echo, which is interesting. Because I think the Brig is just better against this comp, right? But they're making it work. I feel like the Mercy should get bullied in this comp. Like, I really think the Mercy should get bullied in this comp. The Mercy and the Zen should get bullied in this comp. Oh, the Zen. They got the Zen. Damn, is O2 Blast gonna hold this? Mercy Specialist? Maybe. Maybe they just... Oh, the Bulls won. Kellen kind of be fucking in this round on Bull. Oh, wow, I didn't even see the Ashe. Oh. They forced out the rally at least. Oh, no, Kane lost mech. The Mercy, yeah, Mercy is just a greedy pick, right? Like, you're essentially giving free reign to the opposition dive. So when you're playing the Mercy, the trade-off that you're essentially going for is... So he switches to Brig now, actually. But it seems like they like it for the first fight or something like that. When you're playing a Mercy over the Brig can handle the dive a lot better, right? You can push Tracer, Sombra, Bull, Diva, all those kind of players away, and you can protect the Zen a lot easier. While if you play Mercy, it's kind of like a greedy pick damage boosting the Ashe. Ashe is greedy pick in itself, right? You're just sort of hoping that you can hit the shots and create enough pressure that makes it so that they can't dive. Jerry just got dropped by Washington Justice. Yeah, with the signing of Happy, it makes no sense to have Jerry and Happy. Happy will essentially be picking up Jerry's role. That was a bit of a feed. I feel like Kellen went for that under the assumption that they still don't have a Brig. But they had a Brig and he just gets bashed and dies. Why did Merrick go up there? Oh, he dropped eventually anyway. Alright, Proper did a bit of fucking in that round. This is a mainly tank-based meta? I disagree with that. I think this is... I actually think this meta is very dependent on everyone. I think the backline, the DPS, and the tank all have equal responsibility. That's why I actually really enjoy this meta. I think this meta in particular is a little hard to watch, especially when you got like Bulls, Traces, Sombras, and that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to like see what's going on, but I think everyone has very high impact, right? Like the Zen Brig need to be able to protect themselves and play together. DPS need to set up effective dive, and the tanks just need to stay alive and get effectiveness, right? Like. Oh! Nice by Chio. That was a greedy attempt at an EMP by Ado. Dude, Talon has no ults to pull this back. Oh! Kind of clean with it. Okay, alright. Playing a win? Did he get them that low? Yeah, like how did a Tracer kill the Briggs in? I assumed they were low in their own right. Like he only did like, he barely even touched them before. Yo, Classy Pika, thank you very much for the 2 months. I missed that, was unsubbed apparently, awkward. And the Gary Hotmail, thank you very much for the 2 months as well. Sorry, I missed both of your subs. Actually, here we go. Let's go back to J-Ward's hot take as well, because I missed this one as well. And then, yeah, YouTube chat can get in with kicking him and hating on this hot take. I actually don't know what the hot take is. The hot take is that the reason San Francisco Shock might be signing Shock... My hot take is that the reason San Francisco Shock might be signing Shock is that they are signing Finn as another flex support, is that they are unsure if Violet's mental health will cope with another season. Did you mean why they're signing Finn? Maybe. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think you're gonna gamble. Like, I don't know why they would keep Violet if they were worried about his mental health. Like, if you're gonna drop everyone, but you're worried about the player's mental health, I think you would better off just picking up another flex support. I don't think so. I think Shock have shown that double flex support can be useful. So picking up a rookie flex support to play the double flex is good, but I don't expect, if Finn does go to Shock, I don't expect him to play over Violet. Or Violet has big trade value. Yeah, maybe. I don't see that. I see them keeping Violet. I think they should have let go of Super. We talked about Super before on stream. It'll be interesting. It all comes down to what they do. It looks like they're going fully Korean, especially with a bunch of rookie Korean players. I'm worried that Super's more being signed as a streamer and less so as a competitor. Otherwise, I'm curious to see how they're going to overcome the language barriers because, like, you know, let's say San Francisco Shock does sign a lot of O2 Blast and a lot of Korean Contenders talent. Obviously, they've been getting away with playing a mixed roster and a heavy Korean roster, but a lot of those players had played on English-speaking rosters for a while as time went on. If you add a bunch of new players who don't have that I guess, sort of practice on English, it's going to be very hard for them to communicate, especially like Super as a player. Like, he speaks fast, he goes loud and all that kind of stuff. It might be hard for them to communicate. I don't know. I would see them signing another tank just in case that was an issue, but, you know, Shock have tried to make that stuff work and have made it work in the past, so maybe that's what they're trying. But my first instincts makes it seem that Super's going to be like that backup tank, that if they ever need him, he'll play, but for the most part, he'll be on the bench. He'll like Super's last year, yeah, that's it, right? Where he doesn't play a ton, but when he's needed to play, he'll play. That's sort of where I expect it. He said that they didn't give him the biggest bag, and that can also go into the point that if he's not getting the biggest bag, he wanted to go with Shock because he liked the way they do it. But also, like, Super's a competitive guy. Maybe he just wants to play and they're going to make it work. Like, we have no idea, right? Only time will really tell. It'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what the Shock looks like because of all the changes that they're making. Happiness over money, exactly, right? Like, maybe he's comfortable with Shock. Maybe he likes the setup that he has with Shock. Alright, back to the game. Vigilante gets merit. They're both playing the Sombra Tracer this time. Which makes sense. This is just such a... Oh! I think Ado needs to drop this EMP out of this Transcendence. There it is. Nice. Good EMP. But on Shockwave's stream in Korea, some Contenders Korean players can speak English. Yeah, some players can, right? Overwatch 2 is just deathmatch anyway. Oh, really? Did you get that from all the times that you played Overwatch 2? Nice chance. Alright, Talon has positioning. Alright, Merit needs to get a pretty big EMP, and I think they need to go before the rally comes out. I feel like Super's been doing really well in Winston Ball. There's that. I don't think anyone doubts that Super can't play Winston. Oh, nice kill. They need a rally. Like, I feel like Talon needs to do something to counter this aggression, unless they're just going to give up the point. Oh, they're going to rally so late. Yeah, I feel like that was such a late rally. I think if they had rallied early, it could have been used as a deterrent, and they would have had a better advantage in this fight. Give time for the D.Va to come back. Oh my god, this fight is chaos. Like, Super's a great player. Super can play everything. He's as much as Some people believe he's a Reinhardt one trick. He's not. Super can play anything. He's a great player. He just hasn't played over Smurf because Smurf was one of the best Winstons to touch the game in the last couple of years. But I think Super can play on any roster and be mainstay main tank. Dude. Oh, Finn's gonna get the Transcendence. Alright, now they have to hit him with... Oh, dude, Ardo's lost in the source trying to find out who to EMP here. I guess he's... Oh, that actually hit a lot of people. I was not expecting to hit that many people. I wonder if he didn't expect the Transcendence, because I feel like that was a very easy Transcendence. Now they got the rally. Oh, that wasn't a great attempt by Heesung. Oh, Finn gets Heesung as well. Ooh, Kane's got a couple of really good eats. Alright, O2 Blast is gonna cap it though. Kane gobbles this match? That's a new one. Kane gobbles. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but I think that's so funny. He do be gobbling. Oh! Alright, so earlier rally here, which is nice. I don't think EMP. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. I think he could have held that. I think they're walking forward. I think he could have held it, waited more for the rally. Because what it did is, I think by going that EMP that early, like maybe he's worried about getting knocked out and not being able to get the EMP. But if he holds that for like another like 5 seconds, forces Talon to walk forward even more to get value and then EMPs, so the rally isn't actively still going, I think he gets more values. But EMPing, Proper and Jumpin feel like they need to go in and they run into a rally. Oh! Karong? Excuse me? How does he kill everybody? He's just fucking swinging. I guess everyone was one. I love that people like... My favorite thing when people see these main support plays is people are like, oh my god, he's so good. But really, he's just fucking running at him and swinging. Good play though. Good play though. I think a lot of that goes back to Merit maybe going a little too early with that that EMP. I think if he had held it a little bit longer, might have been able to get more value. Respect the big play. Hey, like I respect it. He still got a big play, but final blows how we assess how good main sports are. Like I actually talked about that yesterday. And like a lot of people genuinely think that like the 9 more final blows they get, it directly quantifies how good main supports are. It's very much not how you do it. Alright, so we're gonna get the same thing. Okay, yeah, I wasn't worried for him. Oh wow, how does Vindam die? Vindam. People are saying that Vindam as well, according to leaks. So the new main support for O2 Blast, there's thing. He was a Gen G player on loan to O2 Blast. That he is going to be going to Seoul. He is rumored to be going Seoul to partner with Jonak in the backline for Seoul. Obviously nothing confirmed, but those are the rumors. Yeah, we're not watching the English cast because apparently there was an issue with the broadcast, so we're just watching the Korean one. Rumors suck. Yeah, we're not going to go into that whole debacle right now. Proper gets Vigilante though. That's a bigger pick, I think. They're important picks as well, right? Did Finn kind of be fucking? He sang? Nice. Janek isn't allowed to play with the best main supports. Gray's hatred continues.
그렇죠. 네, 서서히 오고 있죠. 네, 주의할 것이 힐러들이 들어오다가 희생에게 펄스 받고 잘리는 경우 이런 것들을 오투가 어떻게 해서든지 피해야 되는 거고요. 자, 멜트가 일단 위쪽에 자리 잡고 있었다가 바로 쫓아내주고 있는 모습이고 프로퍼는 1층 쪽에서 계속 편지를 날려주고 있습니다.
Big slam. Yeah, I was gonna say, when I do that in my ranked games, I die. How is he not gonna die when he does that? And the answer was no, he was gonna die.
네, 이미 들어가려고 했던 거는 똑같았거든요. 본인들이 먼저 자리를 잡고 있었던 상황이기 때문에 준빈 프로포 보고 있다가 완벽하게 그냥 본인이 뒷라인 힐러 잡아내고 시그마까지 도착. 프로포 대단합니다. 네. 그리고 이번부터 게임 끝내려고 할 생각이거든요.
Finn is actually really good. Yeah, Finn actually seems to be playing quite well.
일단 첫 단까지 나오는데
His Zen do be fucking.
그리고 X 지금 중력 관계가 있어서 이걸로 승부 한번 볼 수 있습니다.
Let's be realistic though. If he's going to the San Francisco Shock, the thing that matters more is his Ana. Oh, Kurong might have maybe a little bit. That might have been a bit of a feed by Kurong right there. He thought he was unstoppable with the rally. Just gets absolutely melted. Don't do it to him. Oh, did he get him? Proper do be fucking. He do be fucking in this game so far. It feels like he's just on mat. Like, it feels like he's just moving around for free. And I think this is a problem with playing like the Sigma Ashe, is I feel like neither of these deal that well with the Tracer, right? Obviously the Ashe can one-tap the Tracer, but like he doesn't have a Sombra potentially hacking him and poking him down. He doesn't have a Diva controlling his like pulse bombs or like keeping him accountable. Like Proper is actually just taking over this game. Who do you see starting between Jonak and Creative, assuming they're not running double flex support? Jonak. I think Jonak. My take is that I don't think Jonak is bad anymore. I think a lot of people are underestimating Jonak because he has been playing on a bad team for the last couple of years. Well, not a bad team, an average team. Like the most recent year, it wasn't that good, but I think he hasn't had a good team around him in a while. And I think Jonak is a much better team. Like Creative, I think probably statistically had a better season than Jonak, but you know, Creative also had Prophet and Fitz on his team, right? So now Jonak has Prophet and Fitz on his team. So I think Jonak will be able to hopefully be able to have more space to do work, and I think Jonak will be the mainstay player for the flex support. Easy to look bad on a bad team, exactly right. Jonak needs a damn main support. Gray's gonna yell it from the fucking fences until people start paying attention. Yeah, that's it. Like, Jonak has statistically still been very good, but I think a lot of people sleep on Jonak because of how little he's... Like, he hasn't had the same 2018 Jonak factor in the last year or two, right? And I think a lot of people sort of aren't giving him credit for that, and sort of just sort of disregarding him for that. But I think he'll do very well on Sol. If Sol fills that team out with, like, very good players, I think that team's going to be very good. Sol just needs Gamsu. Gamsu is the one you went with. Gamsu's been doing pretty well in League, actually, I think, right now. I think he just had a really good proving grounds, right? The League player Gamsu, yeah. Hey, he made Striker look good in 28. Equals, you have to be baiting me. You cannot tell me that the reason Striker looked good was because Gamsu was on main tank in 2018. That has to be bait. That was a joke. Oh, hey. All right. Just checking, Equals. Just checking. Okay? You're in thin ice. I'm getting the band hammer out. All right, yeah. Whew. All right. That was a good one. You had me. You got me, Equals. You got me. I could feel my blood temperature rising as I was just trying to process it in my head. What do you think of Jexay to Sol? I like Jexay. I like Jexay as a main support. I've talked about this in other videos, I think, as well. But I actually really like Jexay. I think he's underrated from Dallas Fuel. I think a lot of people disregard Jexay for the success that Dallas Fuel had, that he wasn't a big part of that. But I actually think he's a really solid player. I don't think he's the best main support in the league, but I think he's solid, and I think any team he goes to, he'll do well. He's shown he can perform at high level and against the best. And if you want to get a more veteran player than some of these, you know, contenders main supports who are unproven, I think that's a good pickup. Jexay died quite a lot though. Yo, alright, here we go. I'm actually curious about this. Let's see if I can disprove this theory. Wait, what the hell? Overwatch League website work. To the lab. If he's wrong, ban him. Hello? Overwatch League? Dude, am I the only one that thinks this website sucks? Stats lab. Players. It's a cool website, just saying, rate ranks? Nice. Heroes. Alright, let's go Lucio, because Lucio is the most played. Season 2021, all stages. Okay. All teams. Stat. Deaths. Jexay dies the 7th least. Jexay dies less by a good margin than Lee Jae-gon, Moth, Masa. He actually dies a pretty small amount. So your point is just fundamentally wrong. Let's bring up Brig just to give you. Let's bring up Brig because a lot of Brig was played. I don't know how much Brig Jexay played, but Jexay dies about middle of the pack. Not bad. Banhammer. In comparison to who? Lee Jae-gon. I don't think there's basis to saying that he did die that much. Let's actually look at other stats, right? While we go in here, because I am a simp towards Jexay. Let's look at Lucio. Let's see how where he is stands in the thing. He's about final blows per 10 minutes. He's about 2.7. Middle of the pack-ish. Jexay on eliminations per 10. He's in top 4. That's not surprising because he plays for Dallas Fuel. Jexay for hero damage per 10 minutes is quite high. He's top 5. Jexay for healing per 10 minutes, he's in the top 3. And he doesn't die that much. So technically and statistically, he's really good at all of those things. So you guys can't come at me with stats that he died. If you guys want to come at me with an actual reasoning, let's go to Brig. Let's have a look. Final blow. I don't really care about final blows for Brig is such a useless stat. Eliminations kind of thing. Let's look at healing. Jexay's healing is okay. Not great. He's like middle of the pack. And his deaths, and we've already looked at this, he doesn't die too much. Where is he? He's like middle of the pack though. Date range is last 3 years. No, we have season just 2021. The date range is the last 3 years, but the season is in 2021. Spire uptime, is that a stat actually? I don't think that's gonna be a stat on here. Yeah, these are just like, it doesn't go that deep. I said he was pretty good, just not top tier. But you said he dies a lot. And he's not. Weird choice of last words. You get timed out for 10 minutes for that take. But moral of the story is, I don't think there is anything statistically bad. I think Jexay was solid. I think I don't know. I feel like I didn't watch many matches and Jexay was playing really badly. I think he did exactly what he needed to do for Dallas Fuel, and I like that for Dallas. I haven't watched just Jexay to be like, no man, you didn't see he was doing all this crazy shit and like he was way better than Lee Jae-gon for all this. I think he was fine. For the quality and the high level that Dallas Fuel played at, I think he did fine the entire season, and I think that is why any team looking to make a top end roster would do fine with Jexay. And I think Jexay would do very well on those rosters. Why did Dallas Fuel drop him? I don't know. Maybe there's other things that we don't understand. But But I think he's a fine player. Jexay's never going to disappoint you. He's like Choi. But Choi was like a champion and all that kind of stuff. Like, because I didn't like Jexay. Actually, when Dallas Fuel signed Jexay, I wasn't a huge fan. When they signed Jexay and Repel, when I thought they were in Houston, I thought they were just okay. Like, I didn't think they were incredible. They were good on Houston, but that team was bad. Like, Houston actually came last that season, if I remember correctly. So it's like Jexay actually impressed me this season, I think, with Dallas Fuel. Obviously, he was on a great team. And maybe that made him look better. As much as it's easy to look bad, you know, we talked about Jonak. It's easy to look bad on a bad team. Maybe it's easy for Jexay to look good on a good team, right? Dallas Fuel was a very solid team and a very good team this season. Who knows? We won't find out until he plays on a different team again. Bro, 1 hour into 4. I think this broadcast has a lot of breaks.
앞선 1라운드 때도 이런 차이가 지금 벌어지다 보니까 4분 13초라는 결과를 만들어냈던 O2였거든요. 그러니까 말 그대로 지금 O2 블라스트는요. 백스 선수는 곧 저지력이라고 읽을 수 있을 것 같아요. 맞습니다. 네, 말 그대로 이제 O2의 그냥 든든한 방패가 되고 있습니다. 자, 그 저지력 한번 보여줄 수 있나요, 백스?
I think you can definitely make arguments that you would be better off getting like someone like Vindam or Korong, right? Am I saying his name right? Korong? It's probably Korong, right? That sounds right. Oh, that is a big pulse bomb by Proper. Korong? Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think Heesang's actually having a pretty good game as well. It just doesn't feel like Proper versus Heesang. It just feels like Backlines versus Heesang. It's pronounced Krong. It's not Chorong, right? Like, that doesn't make sense in... Is Proper going anywhere? Yeah, Proper's going to... Proper is rumored to the San Francisco Shock, but we haven't seen anything. Did he try and flux? Kane? Excuse me? What is this attempt of a flux from Kane? That was not a good attempt at... It's Chorong? Is it Chorong? That was a Custa flux, yeah. No, a Custa flux is when you don't use it. You press Q and then you never use it and it just times out. Do you guys remember back in 2020 when we had the discussion of who was better between Krong and Hanbin? And chat was convinced, chat and Reddit was convinced Krong was better than Hanbin. Even though all the stats said Hanbin was better. To be fair, Krong was a freak. Krong was good, but he wasn't better than Hanbin. They were both very solid, but people were like convinced that Krong was like better than Hanbin. And that they would pick Krong over Hanbin. Oh, yeah, I respect that by Kane. He's just like, get down, Mr. President, as he like sucks his hand. Shut up, in that year he was. Dude, Gray, you're on that fucking APAC fucking hopium, dude. He was not better than Hanbin in that year. The stats sold everything. Everyone saw the Reddit clips of Krong's ridiculous rocks and just said he was better than Hanbin. Krong had some nutty rocks, don't get me wrong. And he was one of the better Sigmas in the year. But doesn't mean he was better than Hanbin. Nice, Max.
집결 둘러놓고 있는 턴에 케인 선수 하나만 준 거라서 구조화로 지금 못 잡아냈고요. 자, 펠라 일단은 지뢰가 깔렸고.
그러니까 메리트가 살면서 밥을 채운다라는 좀 판단하면서 버티겠죠. 네.
Alright. This is gonna be hard for Talon. They did not get enough value out of that rally. Oh, I think at max they did. Alright, nice. Alright. They can pull this back. That Bob's big though. Oh, I hate that Bob placement so much. Oh wow, Finn's fragging though. Excuse me? I feel like if Talon had just backed up, killed the Bob really fast, it could have worked, but Finn just fragged. Custa, yeah, I know he's going for the rock jump. The rock jump did not work though.
있었거든요. 그런데 이 모든 상황이 지금 완전히 그냥 어그러졌습니다. 그렇습니다. 이제 시간 1분 40초 남았어요.
네, 그래도 아직
I haven't looked, but don't know what stats just heavily favor the team who wins, which is fine unless a good player is on a bad team. Yeah, but like it's still like you should not look at stats as like your defining factor. But like what I'm like the point of when we went to look at those stats, someone said Jexay died. It was a feeder and he died a lot, and which just factually isn't true. Like even though he's on a good team, he wasn't feeding, right? Like so stats are always going to favor winners. Like of course your stats are going to be better, and you need to, when you look at the stats, you need to put them relative to other things. But stats are also useless because, you know, stats aren't a defining factor of if you're doing well as a player, especially as a Lucio. Like stats are not the most important thing as a Lucio. The most important thing as a Lucio or a Brig is just how well you're protecting everyone else, and the amount of like are you getting good boots? Are you stopping dives? Are you controlling space? Are you not letting your flex support die, right? Like, why do we always compare players? People are always going to compare players to everyone. That's just the way life works. Wow, merit and proper. When did that rally come out? Yeah, he popped the rally just as two people died.
이렇게 되면 사실 그냥 집결 하나만으로도 맞집결했음에도 불구하고 본인들이 잡힌 거기 때문에 이러면 그 상황이 완전히 뒤집어졌죠. 8초밖에 안 남았습니다.
38초. 아니 이거 들어가다가 다음 그림이 그려지지 않나요? 맥스그 선수가 뛰어오지.
I love the animation from casters. Yeah, green casters are hella hype.
지금 딱 그거예요. 변속킬이 나와야 돼.
Is he going to soul yet? No. Proper's not going to soul. Proper's going to shock.
이거 지금 잡힌 거는 부지런 선수가 거의
Soul is going to have Profit and Fits 100%, and it's rumored Stalker.
예, 이거는 오투가 압도적으로 두 번째 경기.
Allegedly, yeah.
자랑하고 있는
Allegedly.
자, 시간 얼마 없어요. 10초 남았습니다. 탈론. 제대로 비비기는 해야죠.
자, 거점 밖으로 누군가는 와야 돼요. 누군가 희생되더라도 갤랑 기다리고 있고요.
Proper will disappoint Watch? I don't think so.
다시 한번 들어가야죠. 준비 잡았어요. 아직 모른다. 아직 모른다.
Dude seems nuts.
좀 체력관리가 안 돼서 갔고. 공차가 너무 많이 납니다.
밥의 위치가
It felt like Talon just never got position on the map. Like
자랑하고 있는 거.
it didn't feel like they could punish Merit or Proper for that matter. So it felt like every time they're walking forward, it almost feels like they were playing too slow.
기다리고 있고요.
I think I would have rather seen them play like
다시 한번 들어가야죠.
a Sombra on attack or like something that would get them through the front door.
두 번째 세트는
Is Stalker already signed? Okay.
아니 오투의 경기력이 그냥 말 그대로.
Stalker's official now? Okay. Makes sense, makes sense. Alright, on to Nabani.
자, 켈란의 윈스턴을 시작하고 어쨌든 뭐 눈반이다 보니까 두 팀 다 이 윈스턴 자리야 기반으로 출발을 하고 있습니다. 근데 딜러 쪽에서 차이가 있어요. 네, 확실히 큰 차이가 있죠. 선브라와 에코 차이인데
Stalker's going to soul.
또 재능을 또 보여주면서
Alright.
이게 또 수성이
What do we got? Okay, so we're actually going to get a different look. This is nice. They're going to play double bubble, but O2 Blast is going to play with an Echo while Talon plays with a Sombra. Ado seems to prioritize playing this Sombra.
오히려 주민을 좀 피해주는 구도로 만들면서
Chio's back in.
빠져나오는 성공을 했고
Feels like Chio comes in when they want to play other things other than Brig at times. Alright, it's going to be about who gets this nano first.
이런 컷들이기 때문에
그러니까 확실히 공격식이라서 비질란테가 좀 더 빠르긴 해요. 네, 그래서 나노를 그래서 채우자마자 100이 되는 그 순간
네.
예, 저 미스터
Oh, nice. Play by that Ana. Forcing that recall.
타이밍 못 잡았어 이러면 그렇죠.
Oh, they're going to miss the timing window of the nano. Alright, now they got to reset. That's a minute.
주전 바빠지면 실벤 날라옵니다. 이거
O2 should win the neutral. Yeah, but like Talon's 100% just playing around an EMP and individual hacks, right? Which I don't know if I like when you're on attack. Like I think it's gonna be hard to get those hacks in that EMP. Does Killer play it all? I have no idea. I haven't watched this match in full in its entirety.
뒤로 슬슬 빠지면서 이게 복제까지 채울 수 있는 선이라
만나노 다이브예요. 만나노 다이브 들어가서 정리.
Oh shit, I should change my title.
너무 좀 위를 좀 놀면서 보고
잘 봐줬어요.
그렇죠. 자 원시부터 팀에서 위쪽 밀쳐주고 있습니다. 이러면 인지에 다 떨구면서 포커싱을 하게 되면 맥스도 이거 자리야 이거 자탄까지 던졌는데 이렇게 치게 되면 자탄 켈란
So wait, sorry, I was changing my title. What happened? What was that grab? So Max steps up. Oh, okay, they're defending. He's saying gets Finn. That's a big pick. Oh, Max dying, so he has to drop the grab. Honestly, I don't mind that grab. Oh, he does die to Ardo, though. If he had made it into the Mega.
이러면 저 오토가 너무 잘 버텼는데요? 네. 그러니까 메리트와
It's good that they have Meriden who can play the Tracer when Proper wants to play the Echo.
나이스 플레이.
자, 근데 좀 많이 눌렀어요. 그러니까 이게 맥 선수가 필이라서 죽을까 봐서 그냥 문 앞에 있는 켈란 선수 이 원시분노 상태에 있는 거 그냥 물었는데 묶어놨는데 오히려 아도 선수가 따라와서 정리한다든지 이런 그림들이 나와가지고 급하게 부랴부랴 궁극기들을 많이 눌렀거든요.
그러니까 소모가 좀
Alright.
오토 블라스트입니다. 네, 그래서 사실 이번 턴은 그래서
I haven't heard of anything about Merit.
핑과 함께 이거는
I feel like in this offseason, we're at the point of everyone's picking up the important players, right? So everyone's doing all the scouting for like, you know, the big names or the players that are free agent, all that kind of stuff. After all those players get chosen, I think everyone's going to be like, all right, where does everyone stand? Because there's a bunch of teams looking to pick up great players and throwing a bag at them. And I feel like you might see a couple of these other players start getting talked about more as players start, I guess the player market starts drying up.
있는 거 아닌 이상은 매우 어려운 턴은 맞습니다. 네. 자, 한 턴은 내줬지만 이 다음 턴에서
If you control V'd O2 to Al, would they be good? It's hard to really know. I feel like everyone, ever since the runaway transition into thing, I think they would be good. I don't think they'd be great. I think they'd be like middle of the pack. That'd be my inkling of these Korean contenders. They all seem good. They seem good enough to play now, but I don't think they'd be the best.
거의 EMP를 사용한 것 같은 정도의 그 효율적인 플레이를 보여줬습니다. 네, 그리고 프로퍼의 복제도 풀렸고 상대방 압박하고 있는 탈론입니다. 자, 이렇게 되면은 궁극기를 좀 많이 가지고 있었던 그리고 이제 부어주면서 거점을 가져가는 그런 전략을 세웠었던 탈론이었는데
네.
그게 성공을 했습니다.
거기다가 이 스노우볼은 계속해서 굴러갈 수가 있거든요. 나노 강아지도 참고 사실 이번에 밀면서 EMP를 소모시킨 것도 아니기 때문에 빠르게 열면 이경유지까지도
Alright, so they eventually get the cap. They actually save the EMP as well, which is nice.
한두 명 끊어내고 그 다음부터는 EMP. 이렇게 되면 이전까지 가는 경로가 좀 쉬워지죠.
The team is good, right? O2 Blast is good in Korean contenders, and there's probably like 3 of their players are perfectly fine for Al, right? And they're good enough to be an Al, right? But like if they could shore up a couple of their weakest players with like good veteran players, then they would be contenders, right? Like, oh, not contenders, but they would be very good. Oh, Kane gets caught by that. Kellen's going. That's not great. Talon's dead as well. Shit. That was not a good fight for Talon. I feel like they went way too aggressive. Like, Kellen went way too aggressive. Look where the card is. Like, why is he going so far? I think Justice need new coaching. Yeah, I think Justice, Soul, MYXL all need new coaching. That's just from like an outsider looking in and how many weird decisions they seem to have made. I obviously have no idea and I've never talked to any of the coaches before, so it's pure speculation, but I feel like all those teams have sort of coach fucked themselves at some point. With like roster swaps, subs, compositions, like that's essentially what I'm basing it off of. They're gonna nano Winston in. They need to go before the EMP, but I guess they know where Ardo is. I think it's time to go. They're so spread out though as well. Like, how does Ardo EMP anything? Oh. Nice sleep. Oh, the EMP so late, but it's wow. That was good trigger control on the Sombra. Wow, they're actually gonna cap it. That was good play by Ardo. I didn't think he should have EMP'd that, but it actually was really good. They hit way more people than I thought it did. Man, I hope Ardo gets another shot. I really liked Ardo before he went to like Toronto, but I don't know. Ardo just feels like a player who's so inconsistent. Like sometimes I watch Ardo, I'm like, man, Ardo fucks. And then I watch him play again, I'm like, wow, Ardo's trash. Like, I feel like I go back and forth on Ardo all the time. And I think that's the biggest problem with Ardo as well is like, he's someone who's been given multiple shots. So I feel like it's hard to justify giving him another shot. Ooh, grab pulse bomb. They hit a big Bionade in there as well. All right, good combos by Talon right now. They're making the Sombra seem way more effective than the Echo. As much as Echo was better on the first point, I think the Sombra's getting way more value right now. I feel like that with BQB. Yeah, I think BQB was a big, like someone who impressed a lot. Once he went to Florida Mayhem, he really like had a good resurgence. It's kind of sad to see BQB retire, honestly, because I think he's still, there's teams that would have wanted him. He's saying he's 16. Oh yeah, just one of these kid prodigies who's just nuts at DPS.
이게 오투가 사실 진짜 똑똑하게 시간 잘 끌었어요.
I don't even remember Otto. Otto was like 2018 Dragons. Then he went to... Was he on Toronto? He was on Toronto, right? Or am I misremembering? Spark? Justice? Oh, I'm fucking lost in the source where Otto ended up going. I know he like hasn't played. He went somewhere where he didn't play much.
준빈 여기서 원실 분들 쓰고 잡힌 거라서 이것도 좀
Justice then Spark. Okay.
아니 오늘 아도 진짜 괜찮은데요? 맞아요. 오늘 이번 경기에서 매우 눈에 띄고 있습니다. 네.
Okay, good nano onto the Zaya. Is he gonna grab?
빠지고 있고 오토바이도 튀어나가는 타이밍.
Nah, you don't really want to grab that.
뒤로 빠졌다가 네, 밀고 들어가면 또 뒤로 옥죄어 가면 펄스가 또 나오거든요. 이거 조심해야 됩니다, 오토.
He got benched by Architect on Spark. Oh, that's right. He was playing with Spark and then Architect got traded from the Shock. You're right.
자, 서로 간의 자탄 펄스.
그렇죠. 이게 제일
Why aren't players allowed to say how much they get paid? I actually don't know if they're legally not allowed to say how much they're getting paid. I don't know, but I think they are. They just don't. And the players, it's like, why do people not tell people's salaries like for the thing? Like, so let's put it this way, okay? I think a prime example is because it happened in Overwatch League, right? Sinatra in season 1. I don't even know how much he was getting paid if he was getting, but the big thing was 150k. He kept being like, he was like 150k, 150k. Like he's talking about it. If you put a label on how much you're getting paid, all of a sudden you're expected to perform to that result, right? And it's like that's what people like expect from you and they think, and he got memed for it. Like Sinatra in season 1, like when he made mistakes and shit like that, everyone always memed him and stuff like that. There's no reason for you to tell people your salary. Players talk about their salaries to other players. They just don't talk to Twitch chat about it. I know this might come off as crazy, guys, but just because they don't tell you guys Twitch chat the public doesn't mean that players don't talk about it or work within themselves.
오, 딜이 돼요. 탈론 돼요. 이거 몰아놓고
멜트? 안 잡혀요. 멜트!
와, 메리트가 이거
이게 멜트가 끝나고요. 앞에 방벽까지.
아 이거 집결 때문에 되죠. 수비 지금 얼추 지금 시간이 좀 버텨주죠.
그렇죠. 자, 방밀 넣고.
그래도
자, 안집결이 올라가 있었기 때문에 한번 해보자라는 생각으로 힐러들이 노력을 좀 해봤으나
Don't they trust us to be sensitive and mature about it? Yeah. It's like, why would a player ever announce their salary public? Like, there's literally no benefit for the player to say what your salary is.
유리대포잖아요. 그러니까 본인 몸이
Mary popping right now? Yeah.
상대방도 잘 깨기 때문에 이거 나오자마자 2킬하면서 메리트가 흐름 끌어줬습니다.
So how much do you make?
20초 남았습니다.
$20.
아, 이러면은 메리트 선수가 성향까지 지금
Only downsides, yeah.
아도 선수가 이 맥보리를 다 피해서 EMP까지 다 노려야 되는 이런 상황이라서 부담이 될 수밖에 없고 이러면 이거 마지막 턴에 비질란테 나노 강화제까지는 기대하기가
You good, Roomba?
쉽지 않거든요.
Yeah.
근데 스라카가 연결이 어려워요.
자, 정면 빼놓고 이러면 준비는 잡히고 자, 일단
Custa, break the mold and tell us how much you made. Well, I'm not going to do that as well because that still implicates certain players and stuff like that, right? Like, and it's also like, why should I tell you how much I made? It doesn't help anything, right? Doesn't help me telling you guys how much I got paid.
그리고 메리트가 자리 잡고 있으면 솔직히 이거 맥힐 되게 어렵죠. 그리고 메리트가 스타킹까지 함께 날아가고
Oh?
네, 이거는 저도 혼자서입니다.
Good hold. Bio 2 blast.
1라운드 여기까지 2점에서 끊어냈습니다. 네, 3점 가는 게 이렇게 어려운 일이네요. 특히 메리트 선수가 맥크리가 든든하게
Happy to see Otto grind. Dude, Otto's grinding been grinding since the beginning of time. I would love to see an Otto redemption arc. The dude has always been in our or top level contenders and he just keeps bouncing back and forth.
사실 EMP가 둘한테 들어갔는데 거기에 호응이 완벽하게 들어간 건
네,
아니었어요.
그러니까 이게 넓은 구간이라서 그래요. 좀 좁은 구간이어도 사실 뭐 이 맥크리라든지 안쪽에 숨어 있다가
For Overwatch players, is there a scale so players know how much not to get ripped off? No, like that, like especially like players talk within their teams, but all the players don't talk together. Some players have been getting paid really like a lot. Some players get paid very little. Like it's just the way it is.
때문에 마지막에는 그냥 힐러
Some players are going to get screwed by their organizations. Players aren't going to get paid equally or evenly based on how much they provide. It is literally comes down to how good you are at negotiating, how well your agents do, and how much value you can say you're going to provide to the opposition, right?
맞습니다. 그런 부분에 부분에서는 이제 공수가 한 번 더 전환이 되면
Playing with Mars would be annoying. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
전반적인 경기에서의 오토의 안정감이 되게 좋아요. 네. 그러니까 즉 EMP를 한 번 대박을 아두 선수가 좀 내긴 했는데
How much would you say very little? Yeah, like 50k. Like some players get 50k, right? Like it's some players get paid the bare minimum, especially if you have no thing. Like some players get paid minimum, some players get paid a lot. Some players get dumb salaries, dumb high salaries, right?
나왔습니다. 맞습니다.
Didn't XUC talk about speculate unionization or something like that? Yeah, but union, we're not going to get into the union talk. Players union would not benefit players. And, well, it might, right? With certain things. But also, the players aren't going to do it. And that's the end of discussion. We're not going to go into that discussion over and over again. I don't know enough about how unions work, but all I can tell you is from everything that I've worked about when I was a player, it's not going to happen. The discussion essentially is if a union was going to be run, the players would have to run it. Do you think the players care enough to create their own union? No one's going to just make a union for them. The players have to like put in control and run it and sort of like pay someone else to do it and all that kind of shit. You think players are going to do that? Absolutely not. So it's not worth talking about. Some players have been screwed by not having a union. Some players have been very fortunate because there's no union. It's fine.
나노가가 이제 에너지 잘 채워주고 있습니다. 네. 자, 아직까지 대치 그리고 주방 받으면서 준비는 계속 핑퐁을 해주고 있어요. 이쪽 2층 쪽으로 자리를 옮긴 텔란이고요. 그렇죠.
Even when they had ex-NFL players talk to them, none of them cared. Yeah, players, literally, the gamers are just gamers, man. Where these guys are just trying to play games. It's literally the reality of it all. All right, Nano Winston, that's gonna be a big Nano. Oh, nice sleeper. What about soft salary cap being gone? That's gonna be good for players mainly. I don't think the soft salary cap has ever been an issue or something that teams have ever had to deal with. I'd be surprised if it was. I don't know what it was, but I've never heard anyone talk about a soft salary cap. And it would probably have only been an issue for a very small handful of teams that have dumb money. Let's put it this way. Boston isn't hitting the salary cap for over the last few years. How many hours do people put work in a day? It's not about work, right? Like when you're a player, it's not about how much do you work. It's just how good are you. You can put in a little amount of time, you can put a ton of time in. It doesn't matter. It's not about work. It's about how good are you on stage. And if you don't put in that work or that time, then you won't be good, right? But like the amount of work that every player needs to put in is different. Whoa. The big super jump. But like some players put in like 14-hour days, 12-hour days consistently. Some players have never put a 12-hour day in their lives, right? Some players work smart, some players work hard. Like Leave not doing that much? Yeah, like Emily reported that Leave doesn't put in as much time as everyone else, right? Like Leave apparently doesn't grind his ass off. After scrims and practice and that kind of stuff, he usually takes time off and they don't really see him and stuff like that. But he was the MVP and he's incredible, right? Like, it's not as much about like an hour number of about how successful he is. How many average in scrims? I think per day players scrims, like most teams, probably do 4 to 6 hours. Some days you do 6 hours, some days you do 4 hours. But then obviously you have review time, warm-up time, self-practice time, all that kind of time, right? Dude, O2 Blast kind of fucking pounding through this map right now. Who to play a scrim? Other teams. Other RL teams. Just teams that you're not going to play. You can't really practice against anyone else because other teams aren't really at that level. Unless you have like really good contenders teams in your region. And I think the defensive Sombra is not getting the impact that they want, right? Like obviously they win on the EMP, but I feel like because they can't always choose the tempo, I feel like it's getting kind of bullied. Interesting that they are playing the Sombra Echo though. I have no idea, Clever. AT, well, like it would have been interesting to see how I would have loved to have known how well AT did against our teams, right? In scrims, because like when I was a player, we played like Atlanta Academy was a very good team. So like we could scrim against Atlanta Academy, it'd be a good scrim. But like how many American Tornado, like if they scrimmed against Shock, how many maps would they get? Or would they be competitive, right? And how competitive would they be and stuff like that? Those are always really interesting questions to see like how good a team is. Because they like AT wouldn't be the best in our. Like they would be fine, I think. And probably better than a couple of the teams, but they wouldn't be incredible, right? Oh! Alright. Oh, this is not good for Talon. They're about to stagger so... Oh, the Primal. I don't think he needed that, but I guess he wants to clean up faster. Yeah, maybe. Alright, so pay isn't based on the hours of practice, pay is based on players' ability, and each player practices according to their needs. Exactly, right? Like, at this level, you're not, like, the job doesn't say you need to play this many hours, you need to do this. Here's the thing, if you're not putting in the work and you're not good enough, you get dropped by the team and you have no salary. You essentially get fired. It's about holding yourself accountable. When you're at the highest competitive level, it doesn't matter how many hours you put in, you just need to be able to perform on stage. That's the only thing that matters. Alright, on to Route 66. That was a pretty dominant map by O2 Blast. Alright, so they're gonna go back to playing the Mercy Ash. Let's see how this works. I think Atlanta had a requirement for played ranked games. Yeah, I have no idea. I know teams have tried to implement that kind of stuff before. There's like, it comes down to how much control you want to put into a team, right? Or like how much faith you want to put in the players to control themselves, right? A lot of the players are just like head down, all they want to do is play Overwatch anyway, but some players are like lazy, some players like sometimes don't put in time, and sometimes... But as soon as you start putting in a mandate of how many games you need to play, that can be a dangerous slope to go down, but... Yeah, and as Patrick said, like, Shanghai Dragons is a prime example of just because you play more doesn't mean you're good. Shanghai Dragons in Season 1 practiced more than any other team. They were the first there, the last to leave, almost every single day at the Blizzard Arena. Anytime we wanted to scrim them, we were just like, hey, you want to scrim? They'd say yes. Like, they would never say no. You could always scrim Shanghai Dragons no matter what time it was. And that obviously did not work for them. Well, I didn't play ranked. You need to play ranked. At some point, you need to be able to put it. You need to be putting in those extra hours. You don't need to be putting in dumb hours, but if you stop playing ranked and you stop putting in that extra time, then you'll eventually slow down and you'll eventually fade off, right? And that's generally how good players that we think were good end up becoming average, right? Is that the game is consistently evolving, and if you aren't putting in the time, you just don't evolve with the rest of the game. And you essentially just burn out and you just become not good anymore, right? Dude, Talon is... I don't know how Talon starts coming back in this game. They seem to have not an answer to this, like, Mercy Ash. Whenever O2 Blast feel like they're able to play this comp, like... They feel quite comfortable. Oh, the mines. They're just going to be able to walk forward, though. Those mines weren't great. Ooh, Kellen lived to tell that tale. That was so important that the ball didn't die. Nice res on a jump in. Oh, good flux. Oh! How's O2 winning with Mercy Zen? This is actually quite a good Mercy Zen map, especially on defense, because you can play so defensive on the back with your like Zen Mercy Ash that it's very hard for them to dive you and close that distance because you have such defense. I think they're gonna yeah, like it's actually a pretty good map. And Otto's just, it doesn't feel... Oh wow, I feel like that should have hit. I feel like they're just not getting the value out of the Sombra that they really need to get, because essentially Talon has the better EMP, right? They're better ultimate, but they're just losing in the neutral, and but they're not getting enough punish onto the Mercy's end.
시간을 좀 줬던 게 아쉬운 상태가 됐죠.
느낌이 힘을 숨기고 있다가 한 번에 뻥 터뜨리는 그런 느낌이 들었었거든요. 그렇죠. 최치원 선수의 메르시도 되게 큰 힘이 되면서 부활각도 아주 매섭게 보고 있고 이럴 때 피드라도 잡아내면 모르는데 이 싸움이 길어지는 것이 곧 조합상 메리트를 물기도 어렵고 그럼 메리트가 상당히 또 밤이라서 또밤
This is a moment where he's looking to see if he can pulse bomb, but he is just not even close. He's not even close to shooting at anybody. He's just shooting into the air. He obviously wasn't looking at where he was aiming. Oh, he sang. Is he gonna get the Mercy as well? Oh, Proper's fucking though. Proper's absolutely fucking. Holy shit. There's no way. Literally every time Talon got even close to getting like an advantage, Proper just pounded. Yeah, Shadow Ninja, you bring up a good point. Like, you don't get to the level in which you can join an our team by being lazy, right? Like, you don't, you before you got hired, there was no one telling you how many hours you need to play or how much work you need to put in, right? Like, you are motivated to be better yourself, and that's how you get to this level. So it's like, you don't need team to tell you how many hours to play and that kind of stuff. You just need to keep doing that. I think the bigger issue is when players get burnt out and they don't want to put in those hours anymore, because for a lot of people, this happens a lot, where players work really hard to get into Overwatch League, they get there, and then it's really fucking hard, and it's like hard to keep up that motivation, especially when your team starts losing a lot, right? Like, all of a sudden you make it to Overwatch League, but your team doesn't win a map or a match, right? And then it's like, it's hard to keep up that motivation and that grind to keep being better.
드디어 좀 터져줬어요. 뒷라인에 들어가서 근성으로 아드 선수랑 같이 하나 잡아내고 젠네트 잡고 펄스 부착까지.
I love the sound of the audience. Yeah, they actually have like, it looks like they have like really crazy social distancing as well.
어떻게 보면 이제 우승은 되면 이제 역대 우승 타이기로 러너웨이와 마찬가지로 그렇죠. 3회 우승이다 보니까 대기록을 좀 앞두고 있는데 긴장되면 안 하고 있는 것 같아요. 자, 프로퍼가
이럴 때 이거 딱 쏴서 맞추면은 기세가 완전 진짜 그냥 굳어지는 겁니다.
Merit's gonna play an Ashe without the Mercy, which is interesting.
너무 좋아서 생각보다는 사실 테리를 극한으로 자르면 거의 결점이 굉장히 좀 적거든요.
Feel that's the Valiant roster last year. Feels bad for the guys that got signed last minute. Dudes got paid $50,000 when they probably were never going to get an hour contract from anyone else, right? Like, they knew what like, if you signed that hour contract, you know what you were signing up for, and that is why there were rumors that a lot of like really good Chinese Contenders players were offered the contract, but all of them declined because it's not in their best interest to join a team that everyone knew was not going to be able to, not going to be trying that hard, right? Oh. Well, obviously there's the rumors that they didn't get 50K. There's going to be all those kind of things coming out that like they weren't compensated correctly. I'm not going to talk to those. I don't know. I don't know if they got paid or not. Hopefully they did. That's the our rules. It is in the rules. They should be getting paid that, so. And like, you know, there was some good things come out of Valiant. Like Molan Run, I think. I would be sad if Molan Run doesn't get another opportunity from someone. I feel like it was pretty good. And that's it right there. Dude, that Talon does not have an answer to Merit and Proper. Like, they just don't. They're both just popping off simultaneously. How do they come back in this series? I want to see if there's a change in strategy, because it feels like Talon just doesn't know what to do. Why did they put Kilo in? They're winning the series with Merit in, and he's just playing the same hero that Merit was playing. Please. Because he said Merit wouldn't be able to handle it if he joined and the team didn't win a single game. Yeah, that's smart. Nice slam by Jumban. Junpin, not Jumban. Yeah, Proper's gonna be just fine in this. If Proper makes it to Al, which he will, he's gonna be just fine. Talon gets 2? How does that even happen?
이러면 어택도 리필 됐고 이러면 상대방의 흐름 뺐기 때문에 이거 잡아올 수 있습니다. 자, 뭐 물론 거점 자체는 오수가 가져가긴 했습니다만 자, 이게 약간
Oh, nice.
이런 거 손보라와 트레이서 계속 해줘야 되는 거예요. 네. 자, 여기서 텔란이
I hate it when people, like, these teams put in players. Like, obviously the players want to play, but I hate it when they put these players in for, like, in the grand finals when it all matters on, like, map 4 when they're, like, they have match point, right?
할 수도 없고요. 이러면 또 점유율을 가지고 온 상태도 아니었어서 오토에게만 기분 좋은 상황.
Proper is actually just heating up.
10% 이상 높이는 결과가
That is Killer. He's playing, right? This is the first time he's in, right?
그래서 핀한테 한 방, 킬로한테 한 방.
Killer's a better player. I just think he had a bad game. Yeah, I haven't watched Killer play before, so I can't really speak to that. But so far, he got that kill on the Tracer, but he's, you know, he doesn't even have Bob yet, right?
이끈다. 이런 분위기가 좀
You mean like Chengdu did? Yeah, like Chengdu. I hated Chengdu's subbing strategy in this season. It's like it felt like they were going. Oh, Finn's just dead again. It felt like he died without. Oh, Finn still died. It felt like they were subbing players without any rhyme or reason, just like the feeling of that moment.
중력 공격 펄스를 올리긴 했습니다만은
Coming in cold off 3 maps is hard. Yeah, like I've literally. Oh, whoo, Kellen with the double whoop. I did that when I was an owl, like in season 2, when I was like coming in as the control king of the hill specialist Lucio. It's fucking hard, especially when you come in on map 5, right? Like you come in at the most crucial point of that series, and they're like, okay, now play really well. I don't have the vibe from the team. I'm not warmed up. I'm not ready to go. It's hard. It's hard. So I feel for Kilo in this situation. Switches over to the Kree now. Yeah, I think the hype for Proper is definitely well earned. Like Proper has like that, especially that Route 66 map was incredible. Oh, Heesang has been silently pounding as well on the Tracer. I feel like he's getting overshadowed by Proper, but Heesang's really good as well. I think Ardo's been okay. He's had some. I feel like he's just hasn't been noticeable enough. Like he's had a couple of good EMPs, but not enough.
이렇게 터져주는 게 필요하거든요.
49, 50% 넘어갑니다. 어느 정도 따라 붙긴 했어요, 탈론. 그렇죠. 근데 그래도 또 프로퍼에 의해서 게임이 터지는 경우가 워낙 많았어서 프로퍼 선수가 여기서 다시 한번 더 펄스로 변수를 만들 수도 있는 거고.
Junmin just turned 16. Yeah, don't look at the ages of some of these players. It'll make you upset and feel old. Ardo's, yeah, like Ardo's doing fine. Like as I said, like he's definitely applying pressure and he's doing a good job on the Sombra. Oh wow, they got Jimbin. Nice play. Kellen's having a round right now. Actually, I agree. I don't know. I don't speak Korean, but I think that's what they said. Kellen's having a good round. Like he's getting double kill after double kill and getting picks like crazy. I think Kilo's having not a good round as well. Like Kilo's just getting killed on cooldown. I'd almost rather see Kilo go over to the Sombra for this round. Like I think it's especially trying to re-engage on the hit scan. It just feels like he's getting stuffed in the doors time and time again. Yeah, maybe Bang Younguk. I can't speak to like why they went for Kilo over Merit. No idea. Going hit scan and dive. Well, they've been doing it a lot this series. Like they've been playing like that Ash Mercy or even just like the solo Ash. Like Merit played that on the attack of Route 66, and it can work, right? But it all comes down to can you get the space to shoot? And on Busan, especially on Mecha base there, as soon as you lose control of the point, getting out of that choke is impossible. And that's what happened. It felt like he was getting slammed and just EMP'd every time we went. How's Tendy's? Tendy's going well. It's broadcast on YouTube. All of ours on YouTube. Or like Overwatch. Korean Master would be so annoying. I feel like it wouldn't be as bad as you think, but it would definitely be more inconvenient than not having a mask. Alright, so we're gonna get the same comps, except they're gonna play Sigma on O2 Blast. They've done this from time to time. They did it on Nabani, right? Alright, Killy gets Kellen. Oh, hit the shot, Killer! Shit!
가 문제가 아니라
Don't worry, Killer, we didn't see anything.
상황이기 때문에
Ugh.
수밖에 없죠.
그렇죠. 여기서
He got good damage in that fight, though. Max? Hello?
아, 진짜 맥스 그냥 최대로 때려서 예, 서로 간의 킬각 잘 만들었고
Wearing glasses in a mask? That is true, actually, when your like glasses fog up.
이게 왜 이렇게 된 거냐면 사실 맥 선수가 시그마였기 때문에 포킹에
Killer the new Jimmy? Oh, God.
원거리
Don't say that.
수 있는 이 실험형 방벽도 있는
Is Killer's hero pool like Arn's? I am not sure. This is the first time he's played this series, so we haven't really seen his hero pool as of yet. But it seems like he's playing just hit scan, like maybe he's the hit scan specialist.
상이 빠지게 되면 이것도 문제거든요.
맞아요.
예. 오 준비? 도망 잘 가요 진짜 이 주변도.
Dude, Ardo only has 40% to an EMP. How is that possible?
사실 완성이 됐기 때문에 프로포도 마찬가지입니다. 이렇게 왔으니까 이제 각을 보겠죠? 지금 위치 보고 어디 있나? 예, 펄스 부츠로 갈 겁니다. 오늘 펄스 변수들을 많이
Oh, don't do it.
갚아주긴 했으나 이거는 이미 힐러도 다 퇴근이고 네. 올라갔고 이게
Proper diff.
결국은 지금 탈론이 어느 정도 상대방의 포커싱하는 장면에 나와야 되는지 거점 밟느라고
Killer's an Ash main, maybe? Like hit scan. Okay. So like Widow, Ash, all that kind of stuff.
상황이었었고요.
그렇죠. 어느새 50% 이상도 넘어갑니다. 맞습니다. 일단 수성 초월까지 이제 여기가 차오른 상황이라서 여기 입구에서 초월 빼주고
This Sigma's getting so much more value than the Diva.
충분히 많을 수 있는 그런 구도가
Tank diff to my eyes, yeah, Max has been fucking this round. That's like the thing you really need to look at. Both Transcendences. Talon overlap their rally and their Transcendence though. Oh, good late flux as well. I guess it's not going to do much because they also had the rally armor, but... Proper, yeah, like, you can't stack support ults and then after the support ult... Oh, that's a one man. I hit two. Killer actually switched to Sombra, which is interesting.
그렇죠. 서로 들여서 갈등이 각각 야타들을 보냈습니다. 맞습니다. 이거 펄스까지 할만하다 이런 건가요? 벌써 들어가지 않았고 프로파일 펄스 봐야 되겠죠? 자폭 때문에 지금 접근을 못해요. 자 오지마 자폭 정도로 좀 보면 될 것 같고요.
Talon is out of ults. Dude, O2 Blast just needs to reset, come back with Rally EMP. Oh, okay, or Pulse Bomb Korong. Either of those work. Oh,
이러면 이제 교환이라 조금 더 봐야 됩니다.
both work.
완전 난전.
EMP의 집결이 와버리는 턴이기 때문에 문제는
Oh, wow.
EMP 집결. 점점이 넘어가긴 했습니다만 다시 오투가 가져.
Alright, good round by O2 Blast. Yeah, like they can mirror the Sombra if they want to.
그렇죠. EMP. 이것이 오투 블라스트의 오지마.
I don't know how relevant this is. I don't really watch Contenders all that much. What are players usually ranked in Contenders? I'm assuming they're at least top 500. They're very good. No. Like, Contenders players are not that much worse than our. Like, let's use NA ranked for an example, right? NA ranked, the best Contenders players, right? Like, players that you would see in these finals, they're usually top 20 in their role. Like, they're very good. It's usually not that they're not mechanically good enough to play an out. It's that the teams that they're on are not as, like, they don't have all of the best players at once, and they just don't have that experience at the out level, right? Like, they're 4,400, no, they're like 4,500, 4,600 plus, like 100%. Like, all the best Contenders players are very, very good in ranked, and they're almost all 4,500 plus.
합니다만 어쨌든 시그마와 디바의
Yeah, Prob is often rank 1 DPS, right? Like,
자리를 잡기 좋은 이런 탱커다 보니까
especially, yeah, like talking about players like Proper, he would be, he's probably in ranked, he's just as good as the best Korean players that you can think of, right? If anything, actually, Contenders players are generally higher ranked than our players because our players spend more time scrimming and like doing official things, and Contenders have more players who just grind, time to just grind ranked.
블라스트의 실력에 대한 뭐 칭찬과 평가는 여러 차례 들어왔잖아요. 예, 그런 것이 괜한 것이 아니구나라는 걸 좀 보여주고 있는 거고요. 근데 기량 자체가 말이 안 돼요. 맞아요. 그냥 너무 잘하는 그런 경기를 좀 보여주고 있고 이길 땐 압도적. 예. 그러니까 공을 굴릴 줄 알고 굳히기를 완벽.
Like, our players don't give a shit as much of a shit about rank. Like, so obviously some do, but like most of them don't care. Like, they're just playing to play, right? And just practice mechanics, but they're not going to try or anything like that. While Contenders players, especially for Contenders players, getting noticed in ranked is like a really big thing, and showing that you're like rank 1 or you're like really good is like a really important thing. Well, if you're an owl, you don't have anything to prove in ranked. You just need to prove it on the stage, right?
한방한방 빗나가는 그 순간 바로 그냥 주는 수로 갈 수 있는 거라서 더 여기서 힘을 기울여서 사용해야 됩니다. 자, 준비돼 빠져나가는 거 확인했습니다. 그리고
Alright, so both teams are playing Ash again. They're mirroring the Sigma this time though. Here comes Proper. Legit, how many multi-kills has Proper got? Like, Proper just shows up in the middle of these fights and kills everyone.
소름입니다 정말. 아니 딜러 쪽 자존심
Unless you're super in chat roast, yeah, exactly, right?
결과적으로
Can you one trick into an out team? No, not anymore.
원거리에서 때려주면서 딜각 나오는 거고 구조와 달리
I don't know a single out team that has picked up a one trick. Legitimately. Don't say Chipsa.
딜러들을 다 밀어내면서 승리했죠.
그거 아시죠? 빈다임 선수는요 들어오는 모든 적을 다 때린 거예요. 아니 진짜로 거의 다 왔잖아요.
It was more of a thing back in like 2018 and 2019 because there weren't that many heroes played, but it doesn't exist as much.
그것도 큰일이죠. 특히나 한타에서 엄청난 영향력을 뽐내는
Among? Actually, Among, yeah, but even then, he's a one trick who's getting replaced by a non-one trick because, like, one of the biggest problems with Chengdu was that Among really could only play the Wrecking Ball, right?
너무 아파요.
구조와도 그렇고 좀 핀 선수가 딱
Jesus, man. O2 Blast bends but never breaks, and then they just come back and murder people.
이거 준비는 잡히긴 했습니다만 나머지가 또
Didn't cost them anything. Dude, attack is only at 48% to this Flux.
네. 오늘 이번 턴을 안정적으로 한번 막아내게 되면 우승이거든요.
Even Chips isn't a one trick. I think he plays a couple other things, right? That's because you can't play Doom in ranked. Playing Doom in ranked would be a miserable experience. Like, only playing Doom. Like, I think he probably still plays a lot of Doom, but...
따라갈 만한 위치가 좀 애매하죠.
How did they lose this, though? That is a great question.
자 프로펀 대기하고 있고 준비가 함께 들어가고 있는 프로펀입니다.
지뢰와 펄스가 다
Alright, rally's good timing. Pulse goes wide. Killer goes down. Oh, they used all their ults in a losing fight. That's what happened. O2 Blast used all their ults and lost the... What? Proper? Proper?
아 이거 트리플 왜요? 또 뭐예요? 이러면 체력이 또 운전해서
No. Proper?
붙습니다.
앞라인까지 그래도 남아있긴 합니다만 좀 준.
Code for Vigilante. You can set up a dive. Yeah, O2 Blast used all 6 of their ultimates, and Talon saved their Flux and their Rally and their Mines, right? So now all of a sudden, O2 Blast should play this incredibly slowly and just play for one fight. They did the same thing on Oasis, remember? When we talked about Oasis? What they did was, they, instead of taking like multiple fights and not using ults, they took a very slow fight and tried to get as many ults out of Talon without like losing their thing while they charged ults, and then came back with their final ult. With their ults at the end, right? Like, they need to force out Flux. Yeah. Oh, I don't like that Flux. Oh, the hack! They force out Rally, they force out Flux, but don't, okay, that's fine, that's fine. I think you back out of this fight now. Like, try, slowly bend back out of this fight. You don't want to fight it. Just try and get ultimates up, right? So that's Flux Rally out of the thing. They're playing it right. Did you call Skew to one trick? No. Skew was only a Brig one trick because that's what it was required of him, right? Same thing with Iris, right? Iris isn't a BAP one trick. He only played BAP because that was what was required of him. Both of them are very good at and very flexible. Okay. How do they lose this? Heesang? Oh, it's Heesang. Those were 2 important kills by Heesang. Wow.
탈론 버티고 있습니다.
지뢰까지 깔아놓으면서 진영을 좀 유지시켜놨기 때문에 아직까지.
And because they tried to win that fight, right, and they took that, like, that thing, they don't have many ults, right? O2 Blasts are getting... They're getting to a point where they might not even have the ults up before the final fight happens. Proper's cry, yeah, Proper is actually farming, and his team just cannot capitalize.
그리고 서로 EMP를 같이 가지고 있는 상태라서 이 싸움을 길게 하면서 잘 이기게 되면 탈론도
Oh, Finn down. Good dive. Right, see, now they're gonna... this is sort of going back to what I said, right? Finn's not gonna get that Transcendence up for the fight that they want it to happen. Talon should go now. Talon needs the EMP now. Oh, they get Kilo. Yeah. They just... O2 Blast is just never gonna get a good fight. $10 they get EMP and they just get fucked by this. Oh. That was not a great EMP, but it worked. Alright, O2 Blast is getting... They have 19 million ults. Rally, Flux... Oh, good Transcendence. That was a great Transcendence by Vigilante. Oh, and the Diva doesn't go down on the Flux. Oh, God, they almost C9'd. That guy kind of sounded like Zenitsu. Is that just me? Wait. Sorry, they just... It's Zenitsu! Wow, that was a crazy hold by Talon. Crowd noises. That was a crazy turnaround by Talon, dude. That would be... It would have been crazy. That was a crazy turnaround by Talon. Like, I think O2 Blast kind of dropped the spaghetti a little bit on that one. They're going to keep Kilo in. Dude, wait a... Kilo is going to be not having a good time. Oh, they put in FaZe. Who was the tank that they had in before? Max? So they take out Max and put in FaZe. Okay. I don't like O2 Blast's subbing strategy. They have a winning formula, and it feels like they're mixing it up, but they're not even really playing that different of comps. Maybe they want to play... Like, it feels like Chio comes in if they're not just going to play the ball comps. FaZe comes in when they're going to play the Zaya. I haven't really worked out why they put in Kilo. Kilo's a decent Sombra. But then it's like... I understand that they're all great players, but I'm a person who... Maybe I just hate it when people sub people. I just like consistency. I would rather have consistency in my roster than have... maybe the player that gives 1% better, you know? If he was better, then he should just play the whole time. If Killer's a better hit scan and a better Sombra, then he should just play the whole time. Nice sleep. Nice nano. Well, that was kind of nasty. Maybe there are certain players prepared for certain maps, but if they do that, I don't like that. I don't like that anyway. I don't like it when players come in for certain maps. I think that is hard to keep consistency within your roster. Both their best heroes are Zaya? Oh, really? Well, okay, I don't know then. O2 trying to sell everyone. I guess that, honestly, if that is their coaching strategy, then I respect it. Like, they're like, hey, we want to win, but we want to let every player play in the finals and like showcase themselves. If that's their reasoning, then I'm all fucking for that. Like that's awesome. You know, give players that opportunity to go to that next step. They're all underage. Ah, well then fuck that out the window then. I don't know. And like, the thing is, like, I think like the proof is in the pudding with this subbing strategy. Like, look at Overwatch League this most recent year. The teams that were the most successful consistently throughout the entire season generally kept the same 6-player roster the entire season. Dallas Fuel, Shanghai Dragons, Atlanta Reign. They all kept consistency within their rosters. And I think there were other rosters that were just as talented, but they just tried to get too creative with things, like sometimes, right? Like, with like the way that they were subbing things around, like Washington Justice, San Francisco Shock, all those kind of things. What happens is that, like, yeah, sometimes it works, but then sometimes it looks really fucking bad. Chengdu, right? Apart from Chengdu, but even Chengdu, like, they had a phenomenal roster. They had good things, and then sometimes they just looked really bad because they would like sub players in or out, right? Chengdu could have probably stayed competitive if they just played the same 6 players throughout the entire time and just found their style and found their niche, but it felt like they subbed around too much. Houston tried moving things around too much. Like even Gladiators, at the start of the season, Gladiators were moving people around, right? Moth would come in, Mirror would come in, all that kind of stuff. When Gladiators decided, fuck that, we're playing skewed shoe everywhere, we're playing Muse Space, and we're playing Kev's to Birdring. Boom, everything comes together and they get consistency and they have a crazy run and they're considered quite good, right? Like this is something that I think a lot of coaches and teams and players have learnt over the last 4 years of Overwatch League, because at the beginning of Overwatch League, people were subbing around willy-nilly, there were subs everywhere, people doing it, and I think people realized at some point it's like, why are we doing this? I feel like this is hurting us more than it's helping us. Glads did badly though, came 6th. Glads didn't come through in the playoffs. Disappointing, but they also lost to Atlanta, who went on to be in the grand finals. And Gladiators barely lost. And Gladiators were an incredible team. They didn't finish badly. I don't think you can look at Gladiators' season and say it was a failure. Yeah, they unfortunately lost to Atlanta Reign in the bottom half, but they lost to Shanghai Dragons, who were the best, and they lost to Atlanta Reign, who came 2nd, right? They could have easily finished top 3. I think Gladiators probably would have beaten Shock. I think they could have gone much higher. They just didn't. They didn't have a good bracket run, and they were close. Mayhem would have benefited from having more players to try different things. I think they would have benefited if their main tank didn't get benched in stage 3 for whatever reason, and they had to play a DPS player on tank, right? Like, remember, Mayhem were good in the May Melee. And then somewhere along the line, they boomed themselves. Alright, O2 Blast kind of fucking. Regardless of everything, whatever they're doing right now is working. That was Talon's ult cycle, right? Like, that was the fight that Talon needed to win. Like, getting in all these ults. They're not gonna hold, are they? If they hold this, this is... Oh, no. O2 Blast is gonna get fucked on Iconworld, aren't they? Where they use all their ults to try and close out this final fight on second point, and then they get stuck on the bridge, and they get stuck on this bridge forever, because attacking this bridge is the worst thing to ever happen. They're gonna get Ike fucked. Worse than 2CP? This is like a point that has very 2CP vibes to it, right? Where it's like the defensive spawn is way closer than the attacking spawn, and the defensive team has such a crazy advantage because first the attacking team has to get through the castle. They got to get into the castle and get positioning to a team that has that. And then after they've done that, they need to somehow get to the back line, which has a mega way far away, and then even when they try and push the cart, there is a bridge that they have to cross, right? So it's like, it's just such a hard point to attack. The Mayhem shit the bed, yeah. I completely agree with Shiki. If they could get BQB and Yaki into a place to succeed, then that was good, but sometimes they couldn't. Oh. I don't think that grab was good enough. That grab wasn't good enough by FaZe. He kind of got himself isolated. Like, he wasn't anywhere near his backline. This feels like a miscommunication from the team, right? FaZe goes through the hotel. Oh, actually, I guess he just gets split by mines. Like, the backline gets split. Yeah, that was good mines, actually. Sol should pick up Toby for coach. Maybe. Like, it's hard to really know how good a player is when they turn to coach, right? Because just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're a great coach. And vice versa. You can be a bad player now, but be a great coach, right? O2 Blast is dropping their spaghetti. They dropped the rally for almost no reason. Then they try and EMP a rally. Both teams EMP a rally. Wait, whose gets cancelled? Kilo's gets cancelled? No, Ardo's gets cancelled. Ardo's gets cancelled, but even then Kilo's EMP just wasn't good. Like, it only hit Ardo. So I think it's going to be hard for them to close this out. Oh, the Ana got booped. The bridge of death. Finn dying is a problem. Oh, good pulse bomb by Proper. Proper trying his hardest to carry again. It's not enough. Yeah, they just... O2 Blast is dropping the spaghetti. Bad grab, bad EMP, bad rally. They primaled there as well. EMP the EMP. I don't think it's ever planned like that. It's just how it comes out, right? Much more time in the VOD? It's kind of misleading. There's 2 more maps. Yeah, 2 more maps. This map and 1 more map after that. Oh! I thought he might, like, carry it on his bubble to someone. Oh! Yeah. Dude, O2 Blast is so sad. They were rolling this map, and then they get caught in this death trap of Iconworld second point. That's so much respect. I think one of the biggest things that players don't realize when they're trying to go into coaching is how much work it really takes. You have to be fully committed and use a ton of your time to be a really good coach. Well, it's like, as a player, when you go to coaching, it's just as much work, right? As a coach, you have to be there for all the scrims. You need to be there at the same time as all your players. You got to put in the same amount of work. And then after that, you need to be doing extra work. You need to be setting up VOD reviews. You need to be preparing. You need to be, as a coach, your job when you're doing VOD reviews, when you're doing that kind of stuff, your job is to make it as fluent as possible. It's not your job as a coach is not to just throw the VOD up and be like, players, go talk about it yourself. You want to come in with a plan. You need to be coming good feedback. You need to be going out of your way. So you need to be putting in extra hours outside of scrims. So you're going to be putting in more hours on top of that. And then you also have to be doing other things on top of that. You're going to have a coach whose job is to scout opposition teams that you're going up against. You're going to have coaches that are going, like doing scouting for other players. You got individual reviews for players. There's so much shit that good teams and good coaches do that takes up a lot of fucking time. And that's, you can tell when teams do it and don't do it. And you don't even get to play, exactly. And then you don't get that feedback and you don't get the credit as well. As a coach, you put in all this work and you don't even get the credit. I was talking, that's not even the head coaches. These are assistant coaches. You guys can barely even name. We couldn't probably not name 20 assistant coaches that exist in the Overwatch League right now if we tried to do it, right? So it's like, it's hard. You sure? I can, but okay, obviously there are exceptions to the rule. Average fans don't know anything. I couldn't name 2. Yeah, exactly. Most can't name. I don't know if I don't think I can name 20. O2 Blast are finally going to get through. Jake, okay, you guys grabbed the easy one.
자, 오투가 그래도 간신히 이 마지막 구간 들어오긴 했는데 탈론이 다리 쪽에서
9K was a head coach, but is now an assistant coach, I guess, to your point.
추가 시간이 거의 그런 상황이라서 3점 안 줄 가능성이 더 높아졌죠. 자, 킬로 이거
Aid, okay, the most recent.
위험할 수 있거든요. 집결은 잘 불렀는데 문제는 그게 다 아니에요.
이게 뒤 맞으면서 이상 잘 보냈어요. 그리고 뒤로 빠지게 되면 프로프가 쫓아가 다시 한번 사냥꾼.
Oh, that's such an important stick. Prop is so good. Oh, he didn't. He ran out of blinks though. They need to keep FaZe alive. FaZe is all their damage. Heesung recognizes that as well. He's just trying to kill FaZe. He's gonna get grab as well. Oh, the EMP though. Oh my god, there's a pulse bomb. Wow, O2 Blast had that. That was such a good EMP. Damn, Finn had the Transcendence but wasn't there at that time as well. O2 Blast is in so much trouble. The rally's good. The grab's good. They can cap this. Oh, that's a good hack. That's a really good hack on a prop up. Damn, there's been some pop-off moments from Ado in this end. There's been some really good Sombra play. Alright. That's attainable for Talon. If they can get through that second point, they're going to play the Sombra. They need to be able to get on top of Kilo. I think this has to go on Kilo because historically throughout this series, Merit, when he was playing that Ashe, was just doing so much work. And it made it impossible for Talon to take any space. But it'll be interesting to see how Kilo does. You think having a DPS rotation is bad? No. I think having a DPS rotation where 2 of the players play the same heroes is bad, right? When, like let's use DM as example, right? DM and Lip. There was no reason for DM to ever play because Lip was just as good at hit scan and DM was never performing. So why would you have a rotation? I think it is useful to have like a Tracer player, like Tracer Sombra player, have a hit scan player, and then have a flex DPS player, right? Like, kind of how Shanghai is going to have it for this upcoming year. Who Are You is essentially the Genji Doom player, right? And that's good to have. If they need to play Genji Doom, Who Are You will come in, but he doesn't play any other time. The problem that happens is sort of like this Kilo Merit argument, right? Where they play the exact same heroes, so what's the point of rotating? You're better off just keeping one in and keeping that consistency. players are not better. You know what's better than having these players that play map specific and can focus on one map? Players that play with the same team over and over and over again, right? So you really want to keep, like, having a rotation is good if these players are specializing in certain heroes and it makes sense for certain metas, especially like Genji Doom. But having players that overlap hero pools doesn't make sense. And to hit someone's question that just came up, that is the question about the Houston Outlaws signing of Pelican and Dante. Pelican and Dante have very similar hero pools. Dante is more of a Tracer Sombra specialist than Pelican is. Pelican's, I think, plays a lot more of this flex DPS. But they are very similar, and neither of them can play hit scan. So the question is going to be, when are they going to play Dante Pelican? This meta, like this most recent year, it would have been good to have those two. You know, they can play Tracer Sombra, it works, but neither of them can play the hit scan, so they need a well-rounded hit scan in that team now. So that's okay, yeah. But it'll be interesting because it's disappointing because I don't think you'll see much of Pelican and Dante together. Is it possible that a difference in playstyle might justify having two plays with the semi-hero pools? No. Difference in playstyle is... You don't see that much difference in playstyle when people play the same hero. There is very little amounts of difference. You're better off having consistency in your playstyle on your team. Because let's say you have, like... We'll talk about the Ashe, right? Let's say you have an aggressive Ashe and a defensive Ashe. Your team is going to have to adjust playing that, but even though they're playing the same comp, it just... I don't see the benefit of that. I would prefer to just have the same player in at all times, right? Vigilante? Hello? Just cleaning up. How did they get in here? Sorry, I missed how they got in. I'm going back. Alright, so they get Heesang. How does this go wrong? No, Zen, that doesn't make any sense. Good kill on a Finn. Okay, good hack by Ardo. Ardo's having a map. He's having a really good map. Oh, Junbin ends up over the edge as well. And Vigilante just cleans up. Nice, okay. What would happen for hit scan to be meta again? It really looks the invisible high end that guides the meta over time. Removing a tank from the game. There's too much damage mitigation in terms of dive or shields that exists in the game that makes it really hard to play hit scan. Okay. How are they gonna bust this open? It feels like they're just trying to free push and they're trying to get top castle. Oh, nice eat by FaZe. How many times has Proper stuck Chorong? Chorong? I don't know if that's on Chorong or fucking Proper just being a beast. That's fairy tale stuff. Yeah, I think you'll see hit scan in Overwatch 2. I think there'll be less pressure to apply or less mitigation to apply to the hit scan that I think hit scan will come back to being quite good. But we have no idea how Overwatch 2 is going to play out at this point, right? Like, maybe the game is just too fast-paced to play hit scan. We don't know. Good EMP. Ooh, less good EMP. The dive was not there. People were not fast enough to follow him up. Wow, is O2 Blast actually... Damn. That was a really bad fight for Talon. What was that? Rally, Diva Bomb, EMP, and they didn't win. And that only cost O2 Blast the EMP transfer their own. No, I have not played Overwatch 2. I wish I had. I really wanted to play it in Hawaii because obviously the players played in Hawaii, but I wasn't able to get access. Why would Arns get rid of Shock? Shock get rid of Arns? Because they're trying to overhaul their roster, it seems like.
여기서 이제 타일런은 본인들이
Why not? They got rid of all their other players.
을 안 당하면 되는 거예요.
그나마 어쨌든 아두 선수가 지금 EMP도 가지고 있고 이전 턴에 힐러공 다 빠지는 거 봤기 때문에 EMP 차원에만 확실하게 한번 밀어내.
Oh, jumping. Oh, Heesung gets proper though. That is a big pick. And the cart's moving as well. So this puts a timer on O2 Blast, right? Junbin mines. Oh, EMP needs to be pretty big. Ado needs to get a fatty EMP. Kellen?
준비는 살았어요. 준비는 살았고 일단
He's still gonna EMP? Is he gonna do it? No.
오토가 체력 관리가 안 되거든요. 체력 관리 전혀 안 돼서 이거
They get phase. How are they winning this fight? Heesung goes down. I think EMP. Come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh, did the bull die? Dude, Ado has balls of steel. He just holds this forever. Oh, that wasn't a very good bomb. He wanted to be a little bit higher. Hey, Kellen plays ball like I play ball. Round? Dude, I think he's hit. I think he hit proper like 4 times. See, guys, it's a legit strat. When I do it, it's legit. Oh. Spin to win. They got 3 minutes to get through here. Kilo onto the McCree now.
많이 맞았기 때문에 한번 투자를 해봤다는 건데 그것이 잘 통하지 않았고 자 3분 넘게 가지고 이 마지막 구간 들어오는 탈론이에요. 근데 실제로 이번 턴이 가장 위기예요. 이번 턴에 좀 밀리는 거는 구도가
You don't see Sombra players on 4400 above on any of the servers because no one wants to play Sombra. And also the game isn't played effectively enough in ranked to get value out of Sombra. But I legitimately think the reason for that is not because Sombra is not good. It is literally just because people don't want to play Sombra. Like, so even the people who want to, like, who are good at Sombra don't want to play Sombra in ranked. It's so fucking annoying. And it's just not fun to play against. Like, literally, every time I've seen a Sombra play in ranked, someone else on the opposition team complains, being like, bro, really? You're going to play Sombra? We're just not going to have fun? Fitzy wants to. That's why no one wants to play with Fitzy. Like, Fitzy's good at Sombra, right? And, like, the thing is just, it's just not fun to play against, right? Nice. Yeah, I can see Korea playing more Sombra, right? So Fitzy's a DVD streamer now, true? The lucky one. Fitzy also plays May, I know. Fitzy just doesn't want people to have fun. So Merit comes back in. I think it's time to give up on this experiment. Yeah, just put Max and Merit in. Let's go. Winston Zaya. So Kilo didn't win a map. I don't want to say that as like a negative thing, but like sort of reinforce my point of like that did not work.
오히려 오토 쪽에서는 나노강아지처럼 가입할 생각과 함께 메리트로 버틸 생각하고 있는데 자
So they sim TP onto the high ground. I actually kind of like that. Surprised he didn't fan the hammer. I will say, people are saying that Merit and fuck, I forgot his name. That, yeah, Kilo. Merit has been a million times better than Kilo in this series. Like, it's just the eye test. He has been putting in so much more work. Which is crazy because, like, I haven't heard anything about Merit in the offseason. Oh! Kills Ado. Dude, Merit is straight pounding. Grab C9? Kilo Proper and Fit are the ones rumored to be Shock, yeah. And Vindame is rumored to Sol.
오토는 흐름을 이 정도면은 마지막 싸움에서도 저는 아니 한 0.9점에서 오랫동안 시간 버텨지나 했었는데 잠시 탈론이 방심한 틈을 틈타서 잘 밀어줬고요.
네. 자, 탈론은 위쪽에서 대기하고 있습니다. 한번 준비를 뛰어들어서 위쪽에 있는 인원들 체크 한번 해줬고요.
빈다임 선수의 집결이 지금 보유되고 있는 상황.
There's an interesting issue that happened with Max at the end of this and nobody knew what to do, really. Sol gonna be stacked next year? It seems like it. I'm actually hyped to see Sol do good.
자, 아도 위에서 대기 중 EMP.
They changed their, did they change their coaching? They did, right? Junbin gets Vigilante, that's a great kill. Vigilante just didn't want to EM. I think he should have just tranced. Chang'e is gone. Assistant coach is still there. Who's the head coach? Do they have a head coach right now?
버틸만한가요? 쉽지 않습니다. 분위기는 그래도 오토가 계속 좋아요.
계속 화물 이끌어가고 있어요.
Who's better, Jonak Creative? I think that's like, it depends on who you ask. I would rather go with Jonak than Creative.
뭔가
They're head coach now. Interesting.
이어가기는 좀 쉽지가 않아요. 이런 수를 좀 맞춰야 되고 평가를 받아야
Move your mouse. Oh, sorry. I was reading chat. That would annoy the shit out of me too.
근데 문제는 이 초월로 킬을 좀 기록을 해주었어야.
Alright, there goes the Transcendence. Alright, so this is a pretty good spot for Talon to hold.
자, 이렇게 되면 희상의 변수를 한번 만들어낼 수 있을까요? 펄스가 준비가 되어 있는 희상이거든요.
이러면 초월값은 이상이 해줘야 돼요. 예, 그렇지 않으면 다시 한번 또 오토가 공격.
Yeah, a lot about how good Korong is and how he wants to play Prophet. Interesting.
초월에 대한 그런
Like, as I said, like nothing's been officially signed. This is all rumors. So take with that as you will.
사우드 플레이 예술이었죠. 빈다임.
저 근데 일단 빠져나가는 플랜은
근데 배치가 길어지고 정리가 늦어지면 남에도 오고.
You know, let's be real. As much as Shorong says he wants to play with Prophet on Soul, you know who else wants to play with Prophet on Soul? Literally everybody. Literally everyone wants to play with Prophet. So, you know, it's not really like that's a new thing. Wow, good play by O2 Blast. Oh, they're close friends? Okay.
이유가 없다. 지체 시간이 없다.
저는 너무 좋았던 것 같아요. 예, 오히려 그냥 차라리 여기서 시간 어찌저찌 이러는 것보다는 확실하게 가자.
Every other up and coming DPS being called the next Prophet. LA, man. Everyone's going for the same thing.
자, 이제 마지막 구간 들어오고 있는 오토 블라스트입니다.
I wish I could see Proper play other heroes.
탈론이고 그럼요. 오토는 그걸로 인해서 해줘야 돼.
Oh, Jumbin. Bit of feed. I feel like we've only seen a... Oh, did he just kill the Zen? Special delivery. Do you think Ola should battle come for our 2022? I have no idea. I have no idea. We haven't heard anything. I doubt it because we haven't heard it. Like, when was the last time we heard anything Overwatch League? I feel like we're not getting enough information. I feel like we'll get a lot more information before we get a beta. You know what I mean? Like, if we're getting the beta, they're gonna put a lot of the new heroes in the beta, right? We haven't even heard about the heroes, like who the other heroes are. So, and like the build that the Overwatch 2 playtest was on didn't have many, didn't even have all the original roster, right? So.
결국 이거를 준빈 선수가 나로강아지 받는다든지 안쪽에 들어가가지고 비슬람이 초월만 잘 빼내면 그 이후에 오는 마지막에 자탄 펄스톤에 그냥 엔딩 될 수 있어요.
여기서
맞았어요.
원시분들까지 지명 공개를 시키면
이거 힐벤이 들어가서 초월로도 못 살려버렸어요.
That is a problem. That was a good nano Winston. Oh, Ado got slapped. Oh, that's a problem. What if they don't introduce new heroes to our build? Well, I would be more surprised. Like, I'm not expecting there to be a ton of new heroes in the our build. Remember when I was talking to Aaron, I asked him, will all the original 36, how many heroes is it now? 36? I feel like it was 36 or 32. He said all of those heroes will be in for our 2022, so we'll have all the redesigns, all that kind of stuff. And he said, potentially, maybe even more. Eyes emoji, but... Yeah, that's all. Like, so maybe, but I don't expect more heroes to be in the Overwatch build from what it seemed.
전반적으로는
That's bait, don't fall for it, yeah.
좀 많이 좀 사기예요.
아, 그럼요.
예, 그러니까
From what you see here,
전반적으로
Chorong's been fine. Honestly, as I always say, main support's really hard to tell. Like, I haven't really noticed a big part of them. Chorong's been getting fucked by Proper, but that could just be Proper being kind of nuts. But Chiro and Vindame, I haven't really noticed a big difference between them.
선수들도 되게 많고 오프라인 경험도 있는 선수이다 보니까 장기적으로 보더라도 되게 그냥
Yeah, I don't know, KBM DGen. Merit seems really good. Like, Merit seems to be absolutely pounding in these finals.
입장에서는 골솜트를 골라서 앞날
So, like, he's been doing much better than Killer, yeah.
그 다음 스텝 2가 있어야 돼요. 물러 들어가서 확실하게 잡아낸다든지 상대방의 자리를 못 잡았을 때 본인들이 포커싱할 수
Do you think it's going to be weird as an hour to look at a game you can't go and play? I absolutely. And I think that is one of the big concerns for next season. Is that people are not going to be able... Like, I feel like the novelty of watching Overwatch 2 will bring a lot of people in. But I feel like keeping people around... Because people want to be able to play what they're watching, right? If you don't... you can't play what you're watching, you'll lose interest. Unless they give people an incentive of why. Like, obviously, in a perfect world... When the Overwatch 2 season, Overwatch League 2022 season comes out, the beta comes out, and we have beta key drops on Overwatch League. Perfect world. Please? That would be fucking sick. Viewership would go to the moon. We would have beta. People would, everything would be great. That would be a perfect series of events to make the hype. People would get the beta. They'd be able to watch streams of people playing the beta. They'd be able to watch the Overwatch League players playing the beta. Everything would be fucking sick. Do I think that's what's gonna happen? Probably not.
되지 않았을까라는 생각이 좀 드는데 여기서 2분 03초 남겼지만 어쨌든 한 1, 2분 정도 해서 어떻게든 본인들도 남기고 끝까지 한번 소위 찐마 연장 이렇게도 볼 수 있는 겁니다.
와, 이거 연장 가면
Copium and hopium.
완전 결승전 중에 결승전 나오는 거거든요. 자, 보겠습니다. 탈론이 과연 끝까지 밀어낼 수 있을지 아니면 5초가 막아낼지.
What do you think will actually happen? I don't know. Not that. That's like a Santa's Christmas list. That's what I want for Overwatch 2. I don't know about you guys, but everything that I've wanted for Overwatch 2 has been a disappointment so far. Well, that came off as harsh. I feel like it has not come at the speed that I wanted. I haven't got the information I wanted. I like all the changes, but I feel like everything has just been so heavily delayed, and like everything that's been coming has been like we haven't been getting enough information. We haven't heard enough. It seems like it's not coming anytime soon. Like that's what I mean by disappointment. So having the expectation that everything's gonna perfectly align at the very end, yeah, that's a bit of hopium. So there goes your beta invite, Aaron. If you're watching this, I please let me play the game. I'll be nice. Nice backtrack there. Yeah. Well, like it wasn't what I meant. You know what I mean? Because I'm actually really happy on Overwatch 2. People like to say, oh, he's getting paid by Blizzard. Of course he's going to be nice about hype about Overwatch 2. No, if I didn't like Overwatch 2, I would literally just change careers. I actively think that Overwatch 2 looks awesome. I think 5v5 is a great concept, and I think the direction they're going in is really good. I just want to be able to play the game. Oh my god, the Ana's going to live. Okay. Custa signed and regret he signed that 8-year contract. Ah, yes, the classic 8-year talent contract that I signed. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Alright, Talon's doing alright.
맞아요. 그래서 캐리력을 억제시키니까 말씀하신 대로 프로퍼의 캐리력이 억제되는 그 순간 밸런스가 탈론적으로 계속 왔다 갔다
Yeah, so happy he got signed to Justice. I think he's essentially going to be doing what Jerry did for this season. I don't expect him to play a lot, unless it's a heavy hits game meta. But happy was good on the Atlas. Jumped in dead again. Oh, grab pulse. Too strong. And that was an EMP fight as well from Arda.
차라리 결과론적이지만 이게 패기 넘치는 플레이로 본인들이 먼저 선택을 잡는 것도 좋은데 이렇게 되면 너무 아쉬울 것 같아요. 차라리 그 자탄 맞아주고 펄스 빼내게 되면 죽어도 오히려 그냥 이득인 상황이잖아요.
Vigilante Loki carrying. He's been really good this this series in general. Like he's been having the pop-up moments. I would say Vigilante has been the best player for Talon this series. Probably next to like, and then Ado and Heesang have actually been pretty solid. Oh, but Prop has just been heads and shoulders above everyone else in this series. I think like he's just been absolutely pounding, which is what you need from a Tracer. But yeah.
이러면 탈론 뒤로 한번 빠져야죠.
네, 그리고 시간이 좀 많이 끌리고 있죠. 재정비를 해서
Vigilante still a baby, yeah. So, because I think he would have probably been in the market. People would have been looking at him
오토 쪽에 좀 더 많게 좀 쌓이고
because there's a lot of flex support spots open. EMP hits the Zaya Brig. That was a good EMP.
상황에서 적진한 가운데로 뛴 게 아니라 정면으로 뛰어가지고 대처가 됐어요.
그렇죠. 완벽 대처였죠.
네.
그렇습니다. 자, 약간 소강 상태가 이어집니다. 이제 2층을 계속 사수하고 있는 오토블라스트가 되겠는데요.
그렇죠. 그래도 소모값이 좀 컸다 보니까
Patrick said that he's 17 until June, so teams probably aren't gonna. Someone might take a late signing for him, and he comes in halfway through the season.
자, 탈론은
But like Vigilante's good, but I don't think good enough to justify an early signing. Maybe someone will, but
들어가서 초롱 선수한테
Barrett eligible for? I believe so. Yeah.
화물을 정해서 시간만 끌게 되는 꼴이 되는 거라서 나쁘지 않. 어이구
해킹. 자,
이거 연기하러 앞으로 오다가 이거 녹아버렸죠.
진짜 큰 변수죠. 아니 또 해킹. 아니 이연 해킹. 아니 아도의 해킹과
Matt Martian, this is such a copy pasta. Is this actually a copy pasta? If I was in charge, Overwatch 2 would be out by now. Because I get shit done. Also, loot boxes will be a lot cheaper, cost a lot less. Please tell me that's a copy pasta that you stole from someone.
앞뒷 라인 갈라놓고
No, I just typed that? Oh my god, Matt Martian. That should be a copy pasta.
지형집을 잘 활용을 했고요.
그래도 큰 변수는 사용하면서 여기서 실베를 한번 넣어주면 이게 또 막히는 구도가 나올 수 있거든요.
That's a fresh one. That's a new that's a new boy.
사내기주면서 함께 딜을 해도 이거 잡아낼 수 있는
Homemade pasta.
서서히 화물이 전진하고 있습니다. 2점 향해서
이거
갇혔는데
어택 1인공 넣어놨는데
O2 blast, there's so many ults here.
안 되죠.
They didn't get that much value from the grab though. Attack. Is he gonna yeet the grab? Yeah, he yeeted it.
어택 사탄
무조건 잡니다.
방벽이라서 이거 연기하기 근데 인원수가 얼마 없어.
Oh my god, attack was one for like 90% of that team.
윈스턴 지금
들어가요.
그렇죠.
계속 가요.
이거 들어갈 수 있는 분위기죠.
3m. 자, 일단 프로퍼가 약간의 시간을 끌어주긴 했습니다만 일단 2점 들어가는 데는 별 무리가 없었습니다. 탈론.
Low value grab on both sides.
가지고 마지막 구간이거든요. 거의 비슷해요, 지금.
한 방에 뚫어내야 1분 한 중후반 때 시간을 남기는 건데
Waited for StarCraft 2 for 10 years, yeah.
그래서 변수기를 만들어 줘야 됩니다. 탈론 입장에서는요.
결국 이게 나노 강화제 한번 자탄 턴이라고 하다 보니까 어떤
Chat, you're the worst.
잘 굴릴 수가 있었고 생존해냈고요.
네.
구조물이 굴러가고 있는 거거든요.
EMP.
Alright, please heal the baby.
양쪽 다 EMP.
Wait, who was that? That was a summer.
아도 살아
Alright, EMP, no follow-up on that EMP.
잡을 수
다 EMP.
Like, that was a good EMP, it just felt like nobody committed with it.
양쪽 다 EMP.
Which seems like a weird choice.
근데 힐라공이 탈론이 빨리 쳐서 템포를
Did they cancel Ado's EMP?
잡아도 이
Did Ado get fucked? Wait, they both EMP'd.
구조물이 굴러가고 있는 거.
Oh, okay, they both, that makes sense why there was less follow-up. Junbin got EMP'd.
다 EMP.
Makes sense, makes sense.
이 아도가 살았고
So there's a solo EMP on the monkey, and there was a two-man EMP from Merit.
만약에 프로포의 펄스에 죽지 않는다라고 한다면 이번 일단 확실히 탈론에게는 엄청난 기회입니다.
자, 일단 1차
Okay.
올라서 좀 꺾였거든요. 화물 프로퍼가 지금
Oh, whoa! Attack just got murdered.
버티하고
Don't rally. Don't do it.
강화제가 앞라인으로 들어간 게 아니라 초록 쪽에 들어가면서
So wrong with the brig dive onto the Ana. Finn is so confused how the brig ended up there.
프로퍼가 그리고 나머지 인원들이
네.
몰아내주고 있습니다.
그러니까 되게 침착해. 본인들이 선템포 못 잡고 이길 거라는 거 아니까
네.
내어줄 거 내어주더라도 우리도 맞교환하고 나면 무조건적으로 시간 끌 수 있어라는 판단으로 어택 선수 자방 빠지게 만들고 먼저 보는 이 판단이 굉장히 냉철했습니다. 프로퍼.
그렇습니다.
게다가 자탄까지 이제 거의 다운 상황 속에서 버틸만한 여러 가지 기술들이 너무 깔끔해서
네.
지금 오토로 실수만 하지 않으면 이제 거의 다 왔는데요 우승.
자, 양팀 다 지금 노림수가 하나씩은 있거든요. 일단 나눠 먼저 넣어줬어요. 핀 쪽.
여기
Oh, the Finn lived with 1 health. That was so lucky. I wonder if he would have died if he hadn't popped the rally, like if he popped it like half a second earlier. Probably. He might have got the rally probably saved his life.
그렇죠.
예, 함께
If that pulse bomb kills the brig, they could have pushed this through. That could have completely changed this fight.
중력사탄이 오기는 합니다만 맥 선수가 일단 먼저 걸 수가 있다라는 얘기고 수비형으로 비질란트 선수가 어택 선수 살리는 용으로
Oh, that's a bad.
네. 나노로 살리고 버텨야 될것
That's a good trade for O2 Blast.
오히려 미끼가 돼서 말씀하신 대로 물리게 되면 나눠주고 받고 오히려 상대방 카운터
Alright, EMP versus EMP.
좋을 것 같습니다. 일부러 물려주는 거죠.
자, 양
Max has a grab as well, though. How does Ardo get a valuable EMP here?
되게 어렵거든요.
진짜 어려워요. 그런 거 해줘야 돼요.
네, 왜냐면
그런데.
EMP도 존재하고 프로포 선수가 아이고.
Yeah, I was gonna say Max was just running into a wall. Max is in a bad spot. Oh,
어떤 이슈인지 뭐 봐야겠어요. 저희가 지켜봐야 되겠는데.
상황이 될 때까지는
시간이 상당히 또
아, 지금
잠깐 있는
이가 죽노.
look away!
시즌 2 보고
그래서
잡겠습니까?
뭐 저희
Pause champ.
분들께서도 지금 다 난리가 났어요.
그러니까요.
제게가
되나요?
되네요.
됐어.
되네요.
Yeah, I watched this.
자, 일단 세개
What? Apple Snapple, no!
바꿔내요.
What?
먹을게.
네.
그냥 먹고 끝내자 상대방.
이게
Blitzap wants to update. Fuck you.
있는 거고.
진짜 먹으면
왜냐면 무조건 어택만 볼 거예요.
네.
뻔하거든요.
있다는 거 알아요. 네. 서로 코리오.
Wait, Max lost Grav?
됐습니다. 되나요?
되네요.
Wait, he had to. Oh, wait, don't they have a tournament client? Surely they're playing on a tournament client, right? There's no way. Tournament clients usually. Tournament clients usually when you disconnect, when you can reconnect into your same character. That's why it never happens in OWL. That's brutal, though. I don't know why they're not running it for Contenders, but I feel like they should definitely have that in Contenders. Well,
세개 됐습니다.
O2 Blast,
바로 바꿔내요. 먹을게.
mad.
그냥 먹고 끝내자 상대방.
이게 오히려 스노우볼이 굴려 진짜 네.
Someone paid off.
왜냐면 무조건 어택만 볼 거예요.
네.
뻔하거든요.
있다는 거 알아요. 네. 서로 코리오.
자, 하지만 해킹을 노릴 수도 있는 거고요.
나노 아주 켈라.
자, 어떻게 킥?
Oh, probably gets attack. How does attack die without getting his grab off? Where's attack?
노릴 수도 있는 거고요.
나노 아주 켈라.
Oh, this. Oh no, they were not. We did not spectate. Oh my god, this spectating was awful.
EMP 메리트 진짜 매섭게 맞았습니다.
자, 요동치고요.
Yeah, they EMP'd him. Oh,
벌스는 웃었지만
I don't think it's enough.
많이 부족하고 추가 시간이에요.
이 정도는 안 돼요.
Do you retain your ult? Yeah. Ooh, O2 Blast wins in map 7. They don't need no grab. Let's go. Yeah, in the Overwatch League client, when you disconnect, like even if your PC like blue screens, like the server stops instantly and you can rejoin to your current thing.
리그 3회 우승. 대단합니다.
역사적인 기록을
Woo! O2 Blast take the win.
네, 정말 이러려고
Easy clap, easy clap.
이런 생각이 드는
The future.
아닐까라는 생각이 들고요. 오늘 7전제에 그꽉 채우는 이런 대단한 승부가 나왔는데
Alright, guys, that's it. That's that VOD. That was a crazy match. Like that really went back and forth. O2, as I said, like I don't really understand why they decided to put Kilo in. I think Merritt was absolutely pounding and he continued to pound throughout the entire series. It doesn't make sense because it doesn't feel like they played any different heroes or the team played any differently when they had them in. But hey, that is what it is. I hope you guys found it interesting. We obviously talked about a lot of the players, a lot of other things. I'm sorry for getting sidetracked and on tangents and sometimes got distracted from the game. Just the way it is. It's the way I like to VOD review things. Hope you guys found it interesting. Next week, we will be doing the Chinese Contenders finals because that one went even further than this one. It'll be interesting to see which of these players do get promoted to Overwatch League. There's a couple of rumors about some of these players going to different places. I expect to see them somewhere. Even players that we haven't heard anything about so far, I expect some of these teams to be filling out their rosters with these guys. So, love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.